what he's doing is a very, very good job as Brentford manager, that's for sure. But hamstrung a little bit, it feels, with the injuries that his side have been suffering. No Johan Visser today after he picked up that injury in the game against Manchester City last week. By the way, big highlights reel just shown on the big screens here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Brennan Johnson scoring the other night and celebrating with the Tottenham fans was the last piece of the puzzle shown to the fans. He needs a little bit of support, it feels, with having suffered at the hands of social media trolls over the past few weeks because of his form this season. But let's focus on Brentford as the players wait to come out of the tunnel here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. A big blow with no Johan Visser, but we mentioned earlier on who could potentially be stepping up and scoring the goals for them, Perry Groves. How are they going to deal with Tottenham today?
Well, I think they'll still play their 5-3-2 formation. Then you have to, Brian and Burmo, we spoke about, will have to take a big responsibility. And it'll be interesting to see how Yarmoliuk plays in that centre midfield, because Norgard is normally their captain. He's the one who gets them ticking over, so he's got big shoes filled. And Thomas Frank, I think, Faye, has just tweaked Brentford a little bit. I think he sees now Brentford as an established Premier League club. When they first come out, everybody knew they were difficult to beat. They relied on set pieces. Now he's playing a little bit more adventurous, which Dance and myself saw up at the Etihad, where they were brilliant for the first half an hour. Two fullbacks, Ayer and Lewis Potter on the left-hand side. Ayer, right, they pressed really high. They played through the lines. So it's exactly what I expect today. So, but Brentford's away form in the Premier League hasn't been that great. They've lost 12 of the last 16, including the last 4 Premier League London derbies on the trot as well. So they need to turn that round just a little bit. But this will be a very open, progressive, attacking game today. Brentford aren't just going to sit here and, go on the low block and try and hit Spurs on the counter-attack.
No, it's going to be a fascinating watch, that is for sure. A warm embrace between the two managers, Ange Postecoglou and Thomas Frank on the touchline. Referee John Brooks in charge of this one. The players shaking each other's hands and walking to their opposite ends. It should be a cracking game, that is for sure. Take a breath, Spurs fans. Ange says so. Can't see him doing down dog in the dugout, though. Looking forward to this one. Sit back and enjoy in the company of Perry Groves and Ian Danton.
Thank you, Faye, and a very good afternoon to you wherever and however you're listening to Talksport 2. We're coming to you live then from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where Spurs look to build on that dramatic late cup win at Coventry in midweek with his second Premier League London derby in a row. Ange Postecoglou's heavily rotated side just a couple of minutes away from limping out of the Carabao Cup on Wednesday night before 2 goals either side of the 90-minute mark saw the Lily Whites through to round 4. But after 4 rounds of Premier League fixtures, only 1 win registered. That was here against struggling Everton, and the North London derby defeat stung badly. Brentford also trailed in the week against lower league opposition in the Cup, but they responded far quicker against Leyton Orient to win 3-1 with a much changed 11 themselves. They had 2 Premier League wins under their belt and dared to take the lead at Manchester City last weekend before being narrowly beaten. But a raft of injuries to first-team regulars means Thomas Frank is having to mix and match much more than he might want to this early in the season. Team news: Spurs revert back to the North London derby 11 after 8 changes were made in the week. It is Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro, Christian Romero, Mickey van der Ven and Destiny Udogie in their back 4, Dejan Kulusevski, Rodrigo Bentancur and James Maddison in midfield, Brennan Johnson, Dominic Solanke, Son Heung-min in attack. Brentford have 7 first-teamers out injured, including the latest Johan Visser, who'd scored 3 this season in the Premier League already. 2 changes sees Fabio Carvalho come in for Visser, and young Ukrainian midfielder Yegor Yarmoliuk preferred to Christian Norgard in the centre. Mark Flecken is the keeper, Sepp Vandenberg, Ethan Pinnock and Nathan Collins the back 3, Christopher Ayer and Keane Lewis Potter as wing-backs, Mikhail Damsgaard, Yegor Yarmoliuk and Vitaly Janelt in midfield, and Fabio Carvalho in support of Brian and Burmo up front. John Brooks is the referee here today. 17 goals scored in the last 4 meetings between these two sides in the Premier League. And Brentford will get us underway in their change strip of dark grey shirts and shorts, lime green socks, Spurs in their traditional white shirts with blue trim, blue shorts, white socks, and Brentford will be kicking towards the south stand end away to our right. was sat in the West Stand, and already Brentford coming forward, and Yarmoliuk slips Keen Lewis Potter in down the left-hand side of the penalty area, held up for a moment by Pedro Porro, jinks onto his right foot, whips a cross in, and Mbeumo scores. They've done it again, 23 seconds into the game, just like last week at Manchester City. Brentford score inside the first minute with their first effort, and what an effort from Brian Mbeumo, a left-footed volley into the top corner. Deja vu for the Bees. They score early and shock the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 0, Brentford 1.
That's when Brentford kicked off, exactly same as last week. There were 6 Brentford players along the halfway line. Flecken hits it out to the right-hand side. They win the first ball. Over on the left-hand side, Keen Lewis Potter finds himself somewhere only he knows, gets it back from his left foot onto his right, crosses ball into box, and Mbeumo, unmarked from 10 yards out, Dance, what a volley. As the ball drops out of the air, it's a left foot volley, gives Vicario absolutely no chance whatsoever. Romero should do better and goes and close them down. Deja vu, Dance. We're watching Brentford, they've gone 1-0 up again inside 35 seconds.
But here's Brennan Johnson at the other end as we restart, hooks the ball in from the near post, it just goes through Solanke. Maddison picks it up at the edge of the area, left-hand corner. Udogie makes a run down to the dead ball line, pulls it back into the near post. It's blocked by Brentford defenders, but Maddison comes out to retrieve. Down by the corner flag, drops his shoulder brilliantly to get away from Yarmoliuk, and then an amble in his boot as he tries to cross, and it goes out of play on the far side for a throw. Well, that's deja vu in two senses. One, that Brentford have scored again inside 30 seconds in a Premier League game, as they did last weekend at the Etihad. But also, how many times were you and me here last season, Perry, when the first goal of the game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was scored by the visitors?
Yeah, I think there was out the 5 times we've here, Dance, 4 of those Spurs were 1-0 down at half-time. I'd like to know, in the days of all the stats and analysts, who's Brentford's kick-off coach? Because they've done exactly the same. They had 6 along the halfway line, Flecken hits it long, so they get the knockdown and end up scoring. So Spurs have just switched off. That's not luck, Dance. You don't do it twice on the trot. It's luck. Honestly, Thomas Frank will be asked about that after the game. It's just brilliant play from Brentford.
I'm asking him. Don't you worry. That'll come up.
What, you asked me if you've got a kick-off coach?
Yeah. Now you've said that, you put it in my mind. 2.5 minutes gone on Talksport 2. How about this then? Spurs 0, Brentford 1.
Dance, the stadium's in shock. It's shock. It's just gone very, very quiet. Obviously, it's going to be quiet when the visitors go 1 up so quick. And by the way, Dance, what a fantastic volley.
It was a wonderful volley. Here's Kulusevski, who helped to rescue Spurs in the week. He finds Brennan Johnson just getting into the area right hand side, tried to pull it back for Maddison, but Janelt was there to turn it behind for the first corner of the game to Tottenham Hotspur at the North Stand end. 1-0 Brentford.
Good defensive play from Vitaly Janelt there. Just as Spurs attack down the right hand side. Brennan Johnson gets into the 18-yard box, tries to pull it back to Maddison. Janelt does his job. Corner for Spurs over on their right hand side.
In front of the Brentford fans in that northeast corner, Kulusevski swings it in. Strong header clear out of the area for Brentford by Nathan Collins, but it drops for Udogie, who is the last man back. And he plays a little 1-2 in the centre circle with Maddison. Works it out to his immediate right, and Pedro Porro. He's going to swing an early cross in beyond Pinnock, and Son will pick it up on the dead ball line just outside the area left-hand side, looking for an option. Lays it back to the edge of the area. Bentancur goes for goal. It takes a touch off Collins, goes behind for another corner to Tottenham. 4 minutes gone. Brentford lead by a goal to 0.
It's been a good reaction from Spurs, Dance, on the front foot. The passing ball very quickly. Maddison just rolls it out to Bentancur. He's trying to bend it in Flecken's top left-hand corner. Good block from Collins. Another corner for Spurs on their right-hand side.
Kulusevski to take it again. A left-footed in-swinger in front of those Brentford supporters. This is a bit deeper to the far post. Headed up in the air by Romero, but come to be claimed underneath his crossbar by the goalkeeper for Brentford, Mark Flecken. Goal going in League One. Mansfield 0, Shrewsbury 1. Leo Castledine for the Shrews, who've lost 5 of their 6 league games, but they lead at the 1 call, and that's now no clean sheets in 13 for Mansfield. We'll keep you in touch with all the games around the country that have kicked off now. Earlier today you heard it live on Talksport. Chelsea won 3-0 at West Ham, and here on Talksport 2 the Tees Weir derby went the way of the Weir. Sunderland with a Chris Rigg very clever strike winning the game 1-0. Here's Carvalho for Brentford. who lead by a goal to nil on the 5-minute mark here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Clipped down the right-hand side by Christopher Ayer, asking Carvalho to give chase. Good strength though from Mickey van der Ven, got it clear. Son tucks it up to halfway, and then Kulusevski had his pocket picked by Damsgaard, and that Brentford midfield is working tigerishly again. But Spurs have it back, and Porro releases Johnson down the right-hand side. First time cross, Tracy tried to put it through the legs of the keeper, the defender, Keane Lewis Potter. Was there a hand on Brennan Johnson to shove him into the advertising hoardings behind the goal? Well, he's only very slowly picking himself up, and the referee, John Brooks, says nothing doing there. Goal kick, 1-0 Brentford.
Well, I hope John Brooks actually continues in that vein, Dan, because as Brennan Johnson gets where he nutmegs Keane Lewis Potter, and to be fair to Lewis Potter, he just eases Brennan Johnson off of the ball. John Brooks, referee, says nothing to hear, carry on. Just looking at Brentford, we're in possession with Flecken. They're doing exactly the same dance. Keane Lewis Potter is playing bases.
Oh, mistake by Vandenberg, allows Dominic Solanke to get in left-hand side of the area. Son Heung-min pulls it back. Maddison takes the touch. Maybe should have gone first time, because by the time he'd set himself for a shot, there were green Brentford shirts marauding around him, and the ball ricocheted through to the keeper. 1-0 Brentford. And Pinnock's gone down inside the area. Meantime, two teams in the Premier League who haven't won yet, meeting at St Mary's, and Southampton lead Ipswich by a goal to nil. And that's Tyler Dibbling with the goal. And this goal was timed at 22 seconds today for Brian Mbeumo. 2 seconds quicker, I think, than last week when Visser headed Brentford in front at the Etihad. Mad. Absolutely mad, this game.
And the game has kept on in the same vein. It's absolutely relentless. The pace is electric. Just on Spurs' last attack there, when it come down the left-hand side, Heung-min Son goes on the underlap, gets the byline, and as it comes back, you're 100% right, Dance. Maddison should be taking it first time with his left foot, which is taking the touch. That gave Pinnock the chance to block it.
Newcastle have a chance to go top today, but they're 1-0 down at Fulham. Raul Jimenez has put the Cottagers in front in the Premier League. Another giveaway by Brentford. Maddison in the area, surely 1-1. Save, and Solanke gets his first Tottenham Hotspur goal to level it up at 1-1. Another dreadful error at the back by Brentford. Tried to play it out their own defensive third. Presented it on a silver platter to the Tottenham midfield. And although the initial shot was parried by Mark Flecken, Johnny on the spot, Dominic Solanke there to tuck it home. And his first Spurs goal makes it 1-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Dance, that's not Ethan Pinnock, that's Ethan Pinnock, because he's under no pressure. He gets the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box left-hand side, just rolls it straight to James Maddison. James Maddison takes the touch out of his feet, gets his right foot shot away. It's a good save from Flecken, low down to his left-hand side, and then it just spills it out to Dominic Solanke. Johnny on the spot. You could hear the sigh of relief from Solanke from here. Dance just puts it into an open goal. Spurs get back into it 1-1.
Well, that's doing the power of good Dominic Solanke. It doesn't matter how that first goal goes in at your new club, just as long as it goes in. So 1-1 here, and yet again a fixture between Tottenham Hotspur and Brentford produces goals.
Well, we did say there hasn't been a 0-0 here in 102 Premier League games.
You get your VFM here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, that's for sure.
Just looking for that. I reckon Solanke must have done like the hot yoga, because he looked quite relaxed, didn't he? He started off his first.
Have you been Wikipediaing yoga since we've been here? Destiny Udogie, left-hand side for Tottenham, finds Son Heung-min at the edge of the area, drives it straight at Flecken, who can pat it down and clutch it at the second attempt. End-to-end here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and it's 1-1. And we played 9 minutes on Talksport 2.
Yeah, Brentford have just lost their shape a little bit discombobulated. Just comes out to Udogie, just cuts it inside to Heung-min Son. So just trying to bend it and give Flecken the eyes, pretend he's going into the top right-hand corner.
Spurs are hunting in packs again. They've won it back inside left channel. Maddison tries to set Kulusevski away down the left-hand side of the box. He will get to the ball just before the dead ball line. Pinnock is tracking him. It's worked back to Udogie, and he goes further back, nearer to the centre circle, where Van der Ven and Romero can now exchange passes. Now Romero looks to his immediate right for Pedro Porro. Porro tries to pass infield for Johnson. He got there in the nick of time. Brian Mbeumo urging the rest of his team to get out and get towards the edge of the centre circle. Goals elsewhere. Colchester 1, Tranmere 0. Lyle Taylor for the U's. Coventry 0, Swansea 1 in the Championship. Liam Cullen has put the Swans ahead. Wycombe 1, Cambridge 0 in League One. And here's Kulusevski for Tottenham, running through the centre of the field. Finds Johnson, right-hand side of the area, and he drags his shot just the wrong side of Mark Flecken's left-hand post. And Tottenham are really going through the gears here, but it stays 1-1.
James Maddison's everything you need in that midfield area, Dance. They're playing with 2 10s. As the ball comes into Maddison in the centre circle, he has a first touch, gets it into Kulusevski. Kulusevski then just rolls it out to the right-hand side to Brennan Johnson, gets his shot away, goes through Lewis Potter's legs, and agonising past Flecken's right-hand post. Spurs have been on the ascendancy ever since they've been 1-0 down. Brentford just keep giving the ball away. They're trying to put the press on and go man for man in midfield, but Spurs are just bypassing them far too easy at the minute.
Tottenham 1, Brentford 1. 11 minutes gone on Talksport 2 on Game Day exclusive. And Burmo on 22 seconds, but equalised by Dominic Solanke on 8 minutes. Free kick to Brentford just inside the Tottenham half of the field. Peterborough lead Bristol Rovers in League One by a goal to nil. Kwame Poku amongst the goals again for the Posh. Just 1 loss in 5 for Peterborough, even though that's a mid-table game as things stand in League One. Lots of lunchtime games. Norwich beat Watford 4-1 in the Championship. QPR and Millwall was 1 apiece. I mentioned Sunderland beating Middlesbrough. Also Exeter won 2-0 against Stevenage. 0-0 between Lincoln and Wigan. Accrington still haven't got a win. 2-0 up and ended up drawing 2-2 late on against Port Vale. Chesterfield and Cheltenham shared a 1-1 draw. And in the WSL, heavy home wins for Manchester United and Brighton over West Ham and Everton respectively.
Dance, I know there's lies, damn lies and statistics. Just looks, obviously played 12 minutes.
Here's a free kick. Wait a minute. Flecken sending it into the right corner of the area. Pinnock tries to head it up in the air. Drop right wing for Janelt. Tees back into the box by Ayer, but a comfortable claim for Vicario. You were saying Perry Groves.
Yeah, played 12 minutes. Spurs had 7 shots, 4 on target in the first 12 minutes.
Might have another one in a minute, because here comes Kulusevski down the far right-hand side of the field with Spurs attacking the north stand end in this first period. 1-1, 12 and a half minutes gone if you're just tuning in to Game Day exclusive on Talksport. It's back with Romero at the edge of the centre circle. To his left is Van der Ven. Short pass for Udogie. Maddison holding the left-hand touchline, picks it up now. Vandenberg jockeying in for position. Maddison feints across with his right, checks onto his left, still doesn't send the ball into the area, and in fact lays it back for Bentancur. Bentancur now goes in field via Van der Ven to Romero. They've switched play from left to right now, Tottenham. Here is Brennan Johnson. Porro going on the overlap, but Johnson rolls his foot on the ball and gives it back to Romero. Brentford got everybody back behind the ball in their defensive third, very similar to what they had at City. And the ball's turned behind by Yarmouk for a corner as Porro nearly threaded it through to Kulusevski inside the area. Kulusevski will go and take the corner, 1-1.
The Spurs are causing Brentford all sorts of problems with Maddison and Kulusevski in the 2 number 10 positions. Pedro Porro just tried to feed it into Kulusevski, got a block from Brentford. Another corner on Spurs' right-hand side.
To be taken by Kulusevski. Right under the crossbar, headed out by Ayer. Will drop for Pedro Porro 30 yards out. He guides it out to his left-hand side for James Maddison. Maddison faced up by Damsgaard on this near side to us. Comes in field, Maddison thinks about the cross and then little foot in from Damsgaard, puts it out for a throw. Bolton 1, Reading 0. Josh Sheehan for Bolton had a dreadful start to the season. Not scored in 3 at home, so that will do them the power of good. And Leicester 0, Everton 1. Iliman Ndiaye has put Everton ahead. Not one in the Premier League yet, neither side have done that. But Ndiaye has put them ahead. And Stockport 0, Leyton Orient 1. Ethan Galbraith for the O's, who got their first league win last time out at Reading in League One. 1-1 here on Talksport 2. Terrific game, and Spurs have been really on the front foot. And here they are again with Pedro Porro inside the area. Solanke trying to make the room for a shot, and Pinnock got something on it, and a desperate clearance from Brentford gives Spurs a throw. 1-1.
Spurs are very cute, Dance, in their press, because they're pressing high, going man for man, but all they're doing is they're just encouraging Flecken to go out to Ethan Pinnock on that left-hand side, because the three Brentford centre-halves are splitting, and Ethan Pinnock isn't very comfortable with the ball at his feet, and that's the 3rd time that they've won it with the high press and got themselves back in possession.
Throw-in was looking for Kulusevski down the left-hand side, but Brentford have got the ball back, at least temporarily. Put out a play by Bentancur in the end for a throw. It's almost like we can draw breath at this point. 15 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Brentford 1. Perry Grove, sum that first 15 minutes up in 3 words. Go on.
Just sucked, venced an inhaler. That's 4, sorry. Just to get my breath back. Because it's been absolutely relentless.
Given away again, Brennan Johnson at the edge of the area, but then across came Nathan Collins to rescue. I think it was Yarmouth who played the loose pass. But goodness me, Brentford are guilty of committing sin after sin at the back, but they're not being punished every single time. They were for the equaliser. They could be 3 or 4-1 down here.
This time it's Damsgaard who gives the ball away, tries to roll it into Collins. If you're under pressure, surely there has to be some game management where you just think, right, for the next 5-10 minutes, chaps, we're going to play forward. We're going to miss out the midfield. We're going to go into Mbuemo. We're going to go into Carvalho. Brentford just doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result. Exactly, over and over again. It is a sign of insanity.
Rotherham United 0, Birmingham City 1. Tomoki Iwata puts Birmingham ahead. I can hear Steve Evans complaining from here about something. Free kick to Brentford as Keane Lewis Potter was fouled in his own left-back position, trying to get the ball clear. You're listening to Spurs 1, Brentford 1 on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Don't forget you can stream more Sky Sports football than ever before, available with no contract on Now, like Crystal Palace against Manchester United live today. Search Now Sports. Perry Groves alongside me today.
You just said again about Brentford's game management. When they're in possession from the back, what Spurs are putting the press on. Lewis Potter's playing basically as left winger. You have Mbuemo and Carvalho, so they're 3v3. So just miss it out. Just miss Spurs' midfield out, go into your forwards and see if you can win the knockdowns.
Damsgaard strong in the midfield, but then gets dispossessed, and here are Spurs again. Son Heung-min driving through the centre of the field, up to the edge of the area. Udogie to his left, finds Udogie, feints to cross and shoot, and it's blocked. Kulusevski on 6 yards, can't get the shot away. Desperate defending from Brentford, and they do finally get it clear. And then a foul on Carvalho gives Brentford a bit of breathing space. But it's all one-way traffic here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And I'm not just talking about the North Circular. 1-1.
You know, that would be, this has come to a standstill. We're talking about North Circular. There's no chance this game come to a standstill. That was like a scene out of Tommy. That was like the pinball wizard, because Udogie goes down the left-hand side. Spurs have 4 chances at a shot. In the end, Brentford get the blocking.
And here come Brentford. Keane Lewis Potter, left-hand side of the edge of the area. Gets away from Porro for a moment. Runs into a bit of a cul-de-sac, then runs away from Porro. Out towards the far touchline. Janelt in support, 10 yards behind him. Gives it to the German. Now Lewis Potter once again. Goes a little further infield to Nathan Collins. Ayer calling for it at the far post. It's fired in to Damsgaard, and that's taken quite comfortably off his toe by Pedro Porro. And then Romero and Bentancur almost get themselves in a bit of a muddle at the edge of their own penalty area. And Yarmouth making his first start of the season for Brentford in the Premier League today wins the ball back. Good industry from him. Janelt. Closed down by Solanke. And that's a foul by Solanke. I thought for a moment the referee was going to let that slide, but he said in the end that was a foul by the Tottenham goal scorer. Free kick to Brentford, 1-1.
Dan, to me it doesn't look like a foul, because I thought that Solanke did brilliantly just to catch Janelt coming in from behind with his false nose and glasses, but then looking at it, he actually didn't take the ball first. He was actually shouldered Janelt on the floor, then took the ball. But that's really good closing down from Dominic Solanke. And we just say the game's just calmed down just a tad. There's been a few sideways passes, isn't there? Rather than everything going forward. This has been
ridiculous.
Brilliant advert for the Premier League. Played 19 minutes and it has been absolutely breathless.
Free kick to Brentford, 20 yards inside the Spurs half, out on the left-hand side, and Mbuemo slides it down the left wing for Janelt, gives it back to Mbuemo. First time ball into the box, up go the heads, but also up go the gloves of Vicario, who claims it comfortably. No problems there with coming out for a set piece, because remember the stats about Tottenham Hotspur and set pieces, they're not very good at defending them. Only Nottingham Forest have a worse record since the start of last season. 25 goals Spurs have conceded from set pieces.
Yeah, just a little bit too much loft on there from Brian Mbuemo. Vicario come out like he was picking apples off a tree. Just tried to bowl it out to Heung-min Son on this left-hand side, and to be fair, it was really good play from Yarmouth. He just made sure that he tracked the run of Son.
Now here's Kulusevski making a good run down the right-hand side of the penalty area, drives it into the near post. It almost made its way through to Maddison. It was blocked by Yarmouth. Comes back out to Kulusevski. just calmly knocks it back 30 yards into midfield for Christian Romero. Van der Ven to his left, has it now, just in front of the centre circle, the centre half. Further to his left, receiving the ball now is Udogie. Now Maddison gives it back to Udogie. Lovely drift into the area from James Maddison. Gets to the dead ball line, pulls it back to the penalty spot. But it was Damsgaard there in Brentford green, not somebody like Dominic Solanke. Son now sends the ball into the box. Cleared away on the half volley by Pinnock. And then guided down to Ayer. And Ayer will find Brian Mbeumo inside his own half. Brentford with these dark green shirts, shorts and socks on today. Mbeumo is caught by Van der Ven inside his own half. Brentford get a free kick. We played 20 minutes on Talksport 2. Leyton Orient have just gone 2-0 up on Stockport County. Ethan Galbraith has his second of the afternoon. And elsewhere, Wycombe 1, Cambridge 1. Cambridge equalised through Dan and Lundalu. And Northampton lead at Huddersfield. An own goal from Michael Hellick, making it Huddersfield 0, Northampton 1. Northampton haven't won away in 8. Here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, approaching the midway point of the first half. It's flown by the first 21 minutes. It's 1-1. And Brentford have this free kick inside their own half. I can see Keith Andrews down beneath us, one of the Brentford assistant coaches. You're only allowed one person in the technical area. Ange Postecoglou standing in his. Flecken tried to float the ball down the right hand side of the area, but too much on it. And Vicario, if he's quick, Flecken's way off his line, but he rolls it out to Romero.
I think Flecken's got his boots on the wrong feet, because he's tried to play it dead straight down the line. He's shanked it completely. It was a good idea, because Carvalho would have been in.
And here is Solanke, who's finally broken his Tottenham duck this afternoon with that equalising goal after Maddison's shot was saved. Big day here in North London. Boxing to come later, more on that in a minute, because here come Tottenham. It's Destiny Udogie up to the edge of the area. Heavy touch just allowed Sepp Vandenberg to stick a foot in and win it back. And now Damsgaard rides the challenge of Maddison. What a sliding interception from Mickey van der Ven. Took everything. Ball went out for a throw nearer the corner flag at Brentford's end. Brilliant clearance from Mickey van der Ven.
To be fair, Damsgaard nearly went out for a throw as well. Nearly followed the ball, because that was a proper reducer where he slid in. Fantastic timing. But again, that all starts because Brentford are giving the ball away. Giving it all away very, very cheaply.
Yeah, we'll be heading around the North Circular later on Talksport at Wembley Stadium for the big fight. Joshua Dubois, 8 o'clock our coverage starts. Some great fights on the undercard as well. Adam Cattrall, Gareth A. Davis, John Rawling, your big fight commentator, Spencer Oliver, Johnny Fisher, all there at Wembley Stadium. Hopefully it doesn't rain there tonight. I know there's forecast for a few showers in the area. So a busy old day in North London. Fulham are 2-0 up on Newcastle. Emile Smith-Rowe, once of Arsenal. And Birmingham 2-0 up at Rotherham. Jay Stansfield gets his customary goal of the afternoon.
I'm not going there.
Don't. And Bolton are 2-0 up on Reading. Ian Evatt was talking about the dark cloud hanging over the Bolton Stadium in recent weeks after the playoff final defeat, but Dion Charles has a second for Bolton against Reading. Midway point of the first half. The score is 1-1, and Solanke on the charge through the centre of the field, but the ball bounced through to the goalkeeper for Brentford, Mark Flecken. Made it quite an easy claim in the end, but Solanke, well, his body language will be just that little bit easier to read now he's got that all-important first goal in a Tottenham shirt. Here's Ayer for Brentford, playing at right wing back in this 5-3-2 formation. Has it again, the former Celtic man. Carvalho is through the middle, and Mbeumo out on this near side, the right wing. Ayer right in front of his manager Thomas Frank, finds Janelt. That's a better ball to get themselves out of their own half. Finding Nathan Collins. Janelt again looks for Damsgaard, got a bit of space to run at the Spurs back four, and sends it out to the left wing for Keane Lewis Potter up against Porro. Level with the edge of the area, just jinks inside. Porro goes for goal. Lewis Potter, it was on target, but a comfortable save for Vicario. 1-1.
Yeah, they worked it better there. Brentford coming for the midfield area. Yarmouk and Janelt combining, just Janelt then getting out of his feet, out to Lewis Potter on that left hand side. 1v1 with Pedro Porro, just cuts inside, just tried to get it on his right foot and bend it. Vicario's left post.
Now here's Son Heung-min. The flag stays down as Son races into the area. Flecken gets an important touch. Son still has it. 3 defenders on the line. Lays it back to the edge of the area. Kulusevski sees his shot blocked. And Brentford will try and counter as Carvalho tries to release. And Burmo through the middle. Back goes Romero and gets a touch. And Vicario prevents the corner kick. And it may actually stay in play on this near side. It does for Van der Ven. Chances at both ends in a matter of seconds. And inexplicably, it's still 1-1.
Dance, that little patch of play summed up this game, because Son should be scoring.
As Pedro Porro tried to beat Flecken from just inside the Brentford half of the field, but sent it way over the crossbar. And we'll have a look and see whether Son Heung-min was offside or not from the through ball that sent him away. He might have been, but it's immaterial really, because nothing came of the attack.
It was a really good link-up play actually, because Vicario just pinged it into Dominic Solanke. Great first touch, just flicked it round the corner. Son's 1v1 and he got caught in about 4 minds, Dance, because as he's going at Flecken, he should be getting out of his feet and getting his shot away, so he thinks he's going to go around Flecken. To be fair, Flecken did really well, just stood his ground, went inside him. That enabled Collins to get back, get the block in, and then straight away, and Buemo looked like he was going to be 1v1. And to be fair to Van der Ven, he just cleared up the danger.
Lewis Potter actually dispossesses Pedro Porro, and Burmo's in bags of space at the edge of the area. It's floated across to him. He picks it up now. The doggy comes across to close him down, and Van der Ven gets the ball clear. Very close to Brentford getting another chance on goal, but good defending by Spurs in the end. Vandenberg on halfway touches it down to Ayer, and the ball goes out of play for a Brentford throw. So it's currently Spurs 1, Brentford 1. For the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Spurs to win it at 4-11, Brentford 7-1 to win, the draw 18-5. That's all thanks to William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. Here's Brennan Johnson inside the area for Spurs. 2-1. 2-2 for number 22 for Tottenham Hotspur. Brennan Johnson picked the ball up right hand side of the area, fired it low, hard and true, past Mark Flecken into the bottom left hand corner of the net, and Spurs have turned it around, having been behind in 22 seconds. By the time we're somewhere near the half hour, they're 2-1 up. What a first half here. Tottenham 2, Brentford 1.
Dance, it's Brentford, the architect's own downfall again. Yenut gives the ball away, goes to Heung-min Son. Brennan Johnson says to Heung-min Son, it's always better when we're together. He just rolls it out to him to the right hand side. Brennan Johnson, full of confidence from his goal midweek, gets the ball onto his right foot and then just gets it out of his feet. Collins should go and close him down, just goes on the outside, and it's a brilliant finish across Flecken, low down to his right hand side, gives him absolutely no chance whatsoever, and that's no more than what Spurs have deserved, because they've been well on top in this last 15 minutes.
And after all that Brennan Johnson went through on social media, I hope he heard that little extra warm round of applause from the Spurs fans as they saw the replay on the giant screens around us here of that finish beyond Mark Flecken. 2-1, and Brentford, having started the game at the lightning pace they started a week ago, you now sense that what you said before the game, Perry Groves, is somebody due a bit of a shellacking from Spurs, the way they've been creating chances and not putting them away. Well, they could be further clear than 2-1, let's have it right.
Yeah, they could be. It could be 3 or 4, but Spurs have been brilliant on their press and they've been brilliant at winning the ball back, but Brentford haven't made Spurs work that tough and hard to try and get their chances, because first goal, Ethan Pinnock gives the ball away, second goal, Yenut gives the ball away.
Whilst all that's been going on here, Wolves have taken the lead at Aston Villa. Matheus Cunha. Liverpool are 2-0 up against Bournemouth. 2 goals from Luis Diaz in quick succession. And now Christopher Ayer has just upended Maddison right down beneath our commentary position. That's a free kick to Tottenham. Elsewhere, Charlton 0, Blackpool 1, an own goal from Ghassan Ahadmi. So Liverpool 2-0 up on Bournemouth. Wolves 1-0 up at Villa. So goals everywhere in the Premier League. Chelsea won 3-0 at West Ham earlier. Fulham 2-0 up now against Newcastle United. Raul Jimenez got the first. Second goal from Emil Smith-Rowe. Leicester 0, Everton 1, Liverpool 2, Bournemouth 0, Southampton 1, Ipswich 0. And here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, with half an hour gone, Spurs 2, Brentford 1. And here comes Spurs again with Brennan Johnson at the right-hand corner of the box, but he can't take the ball with him. Ball ricochets up to Fabio Carvalho. Great foot in from Rodrigo Bentancur. Destiny Udogie now for Tottenham Hotspur. Has now got Son Heung-min waiting on the left wing. Son picks it up, level with the edge of the area. Infield to Udogie, edge of the box. Kulusevski trying to loft it over Vandenberg for Son, but it's cleared away. Again, the home side have it back. Maddison down the left-hand side of the area, gets the better of Yarmouk, drives to the dead ball line, pulls it back again with too much strength on the pass as he was at full stretch. Comes out to Christian Romero, now at the edge of the area with his back to goal. Brennan Johnson looks for Kulusevski. Oh, it's a real ruck of players in there, and eventually Brentford get it clear, but it's a hurried clearance straight to Christian Romero. Son comes out at Tottenham, 1-1.
Brentford can't get outdanced because Brentford have gone in their 5-3-2 formation. What Spurs done really well, instead about the 2 10s of Maddison, Kulusevski, they go and stand in between Damsgaard, Yarmouk and Janelt, and they just find that little pockets of space, which enables them to progress the ball even further into Solanke.
Here's Christopher Ayer for Brentford. Brilliant challenge from Udogie. And here comes Spurs again. It's Kulusevski down the left-hand side of the area. Plays it into Maddison at the dead ball line, right in front of goal. Solanke trying to bundle it home. Great defending by Keane Lewis Potter to stop him scrambling the ball over the line. And then Flecken just pounces on the loose ball. Spurs 2, Brentford 1.
It's relentless from Spurs at the moment. Dance again, it's down this left-hand side. Kulusevski just releases Maddison on the underlap. Maddison just cuts the ball back, gets stuck in between Ethan Pinnock's legs, has a little ricochet. Then thankfully for Brentford, Flecken's able to turn round and just dive on top of it.
Now long ball downfield looking for Mbeumo. Him and Porro go to ground, and there's a foul by Mbeumo on Porro. Incidentally, those odds I gave you, don't forget, begambleaware.org is always the website you can use for tips on safer gambling with our friends at William Hill. Mbeumo's gone down, and that's something that Thomas Frank could well do without seeing, with all the problems he's got with injured players. 7 first-team regulars are out at the moment for Brentford. Visser, De Silva, Nunez, Jensen, Igor, who they signed for big money, who's not played yet. Hickey and Henry, the full-backs. Visser's out for 2 months. And Mbeumo is getting some treatment. So players come across to this near side to take on some fluid and some coaching tips from their respective managers. Certainly Thomas Frank is having a word with a good 5 or 6 Brentford players down there. Meantime, you're listening to Spurs 2, Brentford 1 on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, they've got a van. Perry Groves.
I'm just looking at Thomas Frank. Obviously he's got his Brentford players in the circle around him, and basically he'll be saying, just go forward and play long. Ayer just did it there when he tried to release Mbeumo, just missed the Spurs midfield out completely and stopped giving the ball away because it's just a lack of concentration. They've probably turned the ball over, I reckon, probably 8 to 10 times down in this first half, which has enabled Spurs obviously to get on them, and then Brentford can't get their defensive shape. So they're actually, this might have come at a good time, the break for Brentford here, because it might just quell the tidal wave of Spurs attacks, because they're causing them all sorts of problems. The doggy obviously going inverted. We said about Maddison and Kulusevski.
And Mbeumo back on his feet. He'll be back on shortly. Elsewhere, goals going in the Championship. Bristol City 0, Oxford United 1. Ruben Rodriguez putting Oxford ahead. Decent start to their life in the Championship under Des Buckingham. Swansea 2-0 up at Coventry now. Ollie Cooper with the second. Leeds in front of beleaguered Cardiff. Largi Ramazani with the goal for Leeds on the half hour. Charlton 0, Blackpool 2. Albie Morgan with the second for Blackpool. Steve Bruce making a decent start to life at his latest club. And Peterborough United have just gone 2-0 up against Bristol Rovers. Ricky Jade Jones with the second for the Posh. Back underway at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Just over 10 minutes to half-time here on Talksport 2. The hosts are 2-1 up and in possession with Pedro Porro. Bang on the halfway line. Slides it out to the right wing for Brennan Johnson, who put the home side in front. Bentancur looks to his left for Udogie, quite central. Maddison out to his left-hand side, midway point of the Brentford half. Plays a short 1-2 with Son Heung-min. Now Maddison again. Son's now made a run down the left-hand side of the box, but he doesn't use him. Instead, Van de Ven is given the ball. He finds Pedro Porro. Back out to the right wing and Johnson. Johnson slides it into Kulusevski. Lovely turn inside the area. Tried to pass it towards goal, but it was blocked by Ethan Pinnock at the edge of the 6-yard box. But Spurs again go hunting more goals. They're 2-1 up and really enjoying their football here after what was a shocking start.
Yeah, brilliant play from Brennan Johnson on that right-hand side. He's really sharp. Kulusevski this time found himself in the inside right position. What you think, Dance, is get it out your feet with your left foot. You can bend it into Flecken's top right-hand corner, and he goes on his right foot, tries to get a cross in, and then gets blocked.
And Burmo is back out there, seems to be okay. Carvalho with a flick inside his own half that did come off for him in the end. He played it blind, but it's been worked out to Ayer on the right-hand side. Now in Burmo giving chase down the inside right channel. He'll get there just ahead of Bentancur, closing down the space. Lovely ball in field, and now Ayer inside the area forces Udogie to turn it behind for Brentford's second corner of the game. 36 minutes gone on Talksport 2. 2-1 Tottenham.
Yeah, great little link-up play on Brentford's right-hand side. Nice little triangle. Ayer releasing and Wermo cutting back inside, giving it to Yarmouk. Ayer continues his run. Great little ball in from Yarmouk to the byline, and to be fair to Udogie, he followed the run of Ayer, managed to slide it in, goes out for a corner for Brentford on their right-hand side.
On the south stand end, away to our right, MK Dons 1, Doncaster 0, Ellis Harrison. Coventry get a goal back at home to Swansea. That's now Coventry 1, Swansea 2. Jack Redoni, former Huddersfield man, and Bolton 3-0 up on Reading now. Dion Charles at the top sheet.
Dance, just looking at his corner, all Wermo's got to do is just ping it underneath the Vicario.
That's what he's done, and I go the heads, and it was very nearly set Vandenberg with a header, but a great clearing header by Dominic Solanke. And now Spurs trying to counter, but the ball sent forward by Kulusevski for Son in the centre circle, just evaded the South Korean, and it allowed Collins to get a toe end on it. And Burmo, right hand side, now picks it up. Just lay it off to Ayer, and Brentford just calming things down now. Ayer again on this near side. And Burmo stationed right next to him, but instead he goes back to the halfway line. Burton 0, Barnsley 1. I watched Barnsley get tonked by Manchester United on Tuesday in the Carabao Cup, but the Tykes lead at Burton. Luca Connell has got the goal for them at the Pirelli Stadium. 37 minutes gone on Talksport 2. 2-1, and Brentford did lead after 22 seconds.
Wasn't that one of the best interviews you've heard after the game, the Barnsley manager?
Yeah, he was not HP.
When he said, don't you dare have a go at Premier League players, how bad they are, when you've just been as pants as what you are tonight.
Yeah. Foul by Van de Ven on Ayer, and he's picked up a yellow card as well, Mickey Van de Ven, because Ayer just toe-ended it past Van de Ven on halfway. You could say he'd lost control of the ball by towing it away, but I think he sensed the challenge was coming, Ayer. Caught by Van de Ven, and John Brooks gives him a yellow.
As you said there, Ayer knew that Van de Ven was fully committed, goes sliding in, and in the end Ayer just toe pokes the ball away, and he rides the challenge basically because he knows he's going to get clattered. And Van de Ven's pleading his innocence, saying I haven't touched him, but it doesn't matter because I think he just brushed him with his studs of his left foot, and John Brooks just gave him the yellow card.
Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 0. Darwin Nunez gets the goal. He's needed that.
Is it redemption of centre forwards day?
Seems to be. Free kick for Brentford. Flecken comes up to halfway, takes the kick, drops at the edge of the area, but Spurs get it clear. And Maddison tried to score from just beyond the edge of his own penalty area, knowing that Flecken was way out of his ground, but got nowhere near it.
That was a proper Avett dance, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was like a schoolboy when you think, yep, I've seen the little goalkeeper.
If the wind was beyond it, I'd give it half a chance, but not on a still day like today.
From 90 metres, yeah. It's not happening.
Notts County 0, Gillingham 1. What a game that is. First against second in League 2, and the team in second lead at Meadow Lane. Elliot Nevitt for Gillingham. Now Flecken played a dangerous ball across to Nathan Collins, with Solanke closing down the space inside his own penalty area. Knocked back for Brentford to send up to Damsgaard. Now Pinnock out on the far left-hand touchline, tries to release Carvalho, but he won't beat Mickey Van de Ven for pace. The number on the back of his shirt matches the miles an hour he can travel at, 37. But then a treble error by Vicario, and it's found in Burmo. Blocked by Vicario, redeems himself and gave the ball away inside his own 6-yard box. But Carvalho and Burmo couldn't profit from it. What a chance for Brentford to equalise. They still have it. 30 yards out with Mikkel Damsgaard. Out to the left-hand side, and Lewis Potter feints to cross with his left. Lays it back to Janelt into the area above Carvalho. Headed out by Udogie and just hooked away. Anywhere will do from James Maddison. What was Guillermo Vicario doing there?
As one of the Brentford fans run on behind the goal and tied Vicario's bootlaces together, because as the ball, Mickey van der Ven does brilliantly. They make sure that he tracks run of Carvalho. He's got no chance of getting in. He rolls to Vicario. All he's got to do is get out of his feet and bring it out to his left-hand side to Udogie. He just gets it caught underneath his feet. To be fair to Carvalho, doesn't give up. Chases lost cause, just nicks it off him. I think Mbeumo maybe should have got his shot away a little bit earlier, and in the end Vicario's able to block it with his legs.
If I was going to have any money on who inside this stadium was most likely to have tied Vicario's shoelaces together, you'd be top of the tree. Perry Groves alongside me this afternoon. 5 minutes to half-time, 2-1 Spurs. But here come Brentford. Carvalho squares it across to Damsgaard. Shot is straight at Vicario. Another half chance goes Brentford way. This game toing and froing from one end to the other. And Thomas Frank will be very, very disappointed that Brentford are not level.
Yeah, Spurs giving the ball away cheaply again on their left-hand side. Comes into Carvalho, picks the right pass out to Damsgaard on his left-hand side. Not a lot of conviction, Dance, I've got to be honest, in Damsgaard's first time shot with his left foot. Should be putting his laces through the ball. He's tried to be a little bit too precise. In the end, really simple save for Vicario. Goes straight to him, basically.
Scored his first Brentford goal against Leyton Orient on Wednesday night. Mikkel Damsgaard. Again, Brentford make a bit of a hash of trying to get the ball clear. It's just gone straight out of play for a Spurs throw on the far side of the field. Back to Vicario. 3 minutes to half-time. 2-1 the score. Colchester 2-0 up on Tranmere. Lyle Taylor has his second of the afternoon to help the U's on their way. Lovely turn from James Maddison in the centre circle. Looks to release Son Heung-min down the left-hand side. He'll pick it up, but he's got Ayer jockeying in for position. Cross swept into the near post, looking for Solanke, trying to run across Pinnock, but Pinnock got a touch on the ball and got it clear. And Burmo goes to ground, claiming he was being manhandled by Udogie. Those claims waved away by John Brooks, the referee. Bolton 3, Reading 1. Here's Udogie for Spurs into the area. Gets to cross him, Pinnock's there again to get a foot in. And then Yarmolyuk tries to find Mbeumo, intercepted by Bentancur. Son Heung-min tucks it in field for Maddison. Got a huge set of man on, but he still found Udogie. Pulled it back to Kulusevski, just at the edge of the D. Forced to play it to his right for Porro. Kulusevski again in the centre of the Brentford half. Finds Maddison. Maddison strokes it out to Son on this near side, level with the edge of the area. Two opposition players watching him this time. Maddison gives it back to the South Korean. Drops his shoulder, pretends to go down the left-hand side of the area, and now Maddison has it back. Son did make a dart, but he's not been used. He was a decoy. It's gone across to Romero. Romero now finds Porro out on the right wing in the sunshine. Floats across in, it's gone beyond most players, but Ayer didn't get a call and decided to nod it behind for a corner that he didn't really need to concede. 2-1 Tottenham.
Dance, that's a really good boom from Pedro Porro on that right-hand side. And Son Heung-min, who's over on this left-hand side, he should be making the second centre forward, and he hasn't. Ayer didn't know where he was, so he just thought that he'll go safe, puts the ball for a corner, which James Maddison will just gently stroll over and have an in-swinger from this left-hand side.
Fourth corner of the half for Tottenham Hotspur, who lead by 2-1. Burnley 0, Portsmouth 1. Callum Lang puts Pompey ahead at Turf Moor in the Championship. Maddison's corner, right-footed in-swinger to the far post, looking for Solanke, headed out, Porro at the edge of the area, tried to drive it back in, hit a forest of Brentford players who were stood together in the penalty area, blocked it away. Comes back out to Udogie in the centre circle, and he'll find Vicario into the last 30 seconds of normal time in this first half in North London. Swindon 0, Carlisle 1. Sam Lavelle puts Carlisle ahead. Both sides just one league win apiece as they meet in League 2 at the county ground. Brennan Johnson with a very nice cushion header infield for Kulusevski. And now Maddison coming forward on the left-hand side to the left-hand corner of the penalty area. Plays the ball in with the outside of his right boot. Might drop for Brennan Johnson on the turn. Blocked by Keane Lewis Potter. And it goes out of play for a Spurs throw on the right-hand side as we go into 4 minutes of minimum added time at the end of this first half.
James Maddison is really enjoying himself. He just drifted out to his left-hand side, goes to the left-hand corner box, brilliant ball outside his right foot.
Here's Christian Romero, finds Johnson at the edge of the area. Romero just can't receive the ball out of his feet. The offside flag's gone up anyway. I think it was against Brennan Johnson for the first pass that was played through, and Brentford have a free kick inside their own penalty area. So in the Premier League, Wolves 1 up at Villa, Fulham 2-0 up against Newcastle, Everton 1 up at Leicester, Liverpool 3-0 up against Bournemouth, Southampton lead Ipswich by 1-0, and it's Spurs 2, Brentford 1 here if you're just tuning into Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2. With the boxing later, Joshua Dubois from 8 p.m. on Talksport. And we do have a watch along on our Talksport Boxing YouTube channel as well, if you want to check that out during the course of the evening. Josh Warrington also in action, and Joshua Buatsi. Some very, very good fights on the undercard tonight. Join Adam Catchell and the team from 8 o'clock on Talksport. That's after the phone-in with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy.
I think Jamie might have calmed himself down a bit after the first 22 seconds.
Shambles would have been the word after 22 seconds. Miles off it and things like that. You'd be slightly happier now.
Bang on it.
Spurs are back. 03717 22 3344 later on for the phone-in with those two. Just a long clearance downfield from Ethan Pinnock, goes straight through to Vicario.
Neither physio has been on, have they, in this first half?
No, there was treatment from Burmo. That's why the majority of that 4 minutes has been added on. Now Yarmouth making strides down the right-hand side. Madison slides in. It's going to be a corner to Brentford at the south stand end. One last chance maybe for them this half to create another opportunity, and it's a set piece, remember.
Again, all Mbeumo's got to do is just got to feed it in with his left foot, entering in, to see if he can hit it into the 6-yard box, preferably under the crossbar, to make Vicario have to come and make a decision. And we just see, it looks like it's Carvalho who's just loitering behind Vicario. Obviously he's going to come and be like the nuisance value.
Well, he's the only one in the 6-yard box in a Brentford shirt. Lots of Brentford players in and around the penalty spot. In it comes from Mbeumo, but 3 Spurs players all around the same ball to head it clear. Hooked back towards the area by Yarmolyuk, but Udogie will head it clear this time. Yarmolyuk again with a more cushioned header forward. Very strong header out from Romero, gets as far as the centre circle. Volleyed back by Damsgaard, but picked up by Romero, and then a slightly hurried clearance downfield from Johnson. Won't find Son. We played 3 minutes of the minimum 4 that have been added on. Get me teeth in. Spurs 2, Brentford 1.
I thought he was going into the Muppets then.
Yeah. Here's Keane Lewis Potter, left-hand side. Lovely little flick. Gets Carvalho away. Just steps inside for a moment. Tries to play it into Keane Lewis Potter, who's continued his run into the box. And this time Vicario came out to the edge of his 6-yard box and claimed it. And Van der Ven was helping him out by trying to outmuscle Keane Lewis Potter. 2-1 Spurs.
Yeah, Keane Lewis Potter has been really, really effective on that left-hand side for Brentford.
Bentancur gets away with one there, almost dispossessed by 2 Brentford players. Still manages to fire it downfield. Brought down on the chest of Solanke, but that allowed Pinnock to get across him and get between man and ball and get it clear for the Bees. Drops on halfway. And now they're trying to release Carvalho again with the ball from the inside left channel, but Vicario can pick it up and he will roll it forward through Van der Ven to the feet of James Maddison. And there goes the half-time whistle after a truly breathtaking 45 minutes that sprang into life as early as the 22nd second of the first half, when Bryan Mbeumo expertly volleyed a left-footed shot in past Vicario. And so for the second week in a row, Brentford find themselves 1-0 up away in the Premier League inside 30 seconds, but they couldn't hang on to it. Spurs got themselves level, and Dominic Solanke will be one of the most relieved men walking off the pitch at half-time, because finally he's broken his Tottenham duck and got themselves level. His goal on 8 minutes made it 1-1, and then Brennan Johnson made it 2-2 after his winner against Coventry in the week with a really crisp, low, right-footed finish. But that doesn't do the first half justice the way I've summed it up. There were so many other chances, mostly for Spurs, but Brentford have had a couple of gilt-edged chances to add to their goal tally as well. Maybe the goal scoring isn't finished just yet. Don't touch that dial. At half-time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it's Spurs 2, Brentford 1.
Thank you very much to our very own Statler and Waldorf. I am dressed in pink today myself and been munching on the jelly babies that Perry Groves bought, but please don't call me Miss Piggy because that's just rude. What a game of football that we've been witnessing. I really hope the second half continues like that, Perry Groves. I mean, I feel like both sides, the architects of each other's downfall and brilliance. I think that's the best way to sum it up.
Yeah, we thought it would be like a basketball game, Fane. It's exactly what it's been, starting, as Dan said there, from kickoff, because we're right in line with the halfway line. And last week when Brentford kicked off, they did the same thing. They lined 6 up along the halfway line. It goes back to Flecken. He smashes it out to the right-hand side. They try and win the knockdown, which they did. They switch the ball out to Keane Potter on the left-hand side. Comes in on his right. Brilliant cross. And Buemo is unmarked. Romero should get closer, but it is a brilliant volley from Brian Buemo. His technique, as the ball drops down with his left foot, just sweeps it past Vicario, gives him absolutely no chance. And then you just think, right, just ride out the next 5-10 minutes for Brentford and, make this, because the crowd was hushed, Faye, wasn't it? It was completely, they was shocked, basically. But then Brentford just kept giving the ball away time after time after time.
Now tell me this, from a footballer's perspective, is that because of the intense press of Tottenham's players, or is that sloppiness from Brentford? Because I was getting really frustrated as a neutral watching Brentford play little triangles in their own box. It felt as if you're just inviting that.
Absolutely, and if you're going to play like that, you've got to have conviction in the way that you're playing. And Dan and myself saw them last week, first half hour. They had a lot of conviction. I think they're missing Norgard in that centre midfield area, because he's the one that nicks everything together. And what you do is then, even if you're Flecken, right? And I know that these coaches want to play out from the back, and this is like the format they want to follow. But even as a goalkeeper, you've got to think, actually, we're a little bit nervy here. I'm going to make the decision. Because they're leaving 3v3.
Yeah.
Because Keane Potter is playing on the left wing. Then you've got Carvalho and Buemo, and he rolls it out to Ethan Pinnock, and he is not comfortable on the ball with the ball at his feet. He tries to roll it into Collins, gives the ball away, and all of a sudden it comes to Maddison. Maddison has his shot. It's a good save actually from Flecken. And then Dominic Solanke, who was desperate for a goal, he makes sure his instinct took over, where he's right, I've got to follow in this shot. Exactly what he does, just a simple tap in, and it was an audible sigh of relief. You could just see his body language just like expand. But if you're Thomas Frank and the Brentford players, you'll be thinking, we want to make Spurs work to create their chances, and they're not, because they're the ones who keep giving the ball away, and then Spurs are flooding onto them.
They've worked it out though, Brentford, haven't they? By the way, the two players that needed to step up today have done, in Dominic Solanke and Brennan Johnson. But Brentford have worked out this formula, almost that teams fall asleep at the beginning and end of halves, and they were the ones that finished the half more brightly, you would expect. And Buemo should have done better with that ridiculous mistake from Vicario in goal. Damsgaard should have done better as well. He had acres of space, tried to be too precise, as you said in commentary, and just shot straight at the Vicario. So is Thomas Frank going to be happy, and is Ange Postecoglou going to be happy?
I think Ange Postecoglou would be the more pleased of both managers, because going to 1-0 down after 22 seconds, it could have turned, the crowd could have turned, and Brentford didn't allow that to happen, because say they gave the ball away. Solanke gets the equaliser on the 8 minutes, then the game actually intensifies, and then it comes out to Brennan Johnson. Yannick gives the ball away, Son just passes to his right, and it's a brilliant finish from Brennan Johnson, but Collins should get closer, and he just fires it across Flecken, and then the Spurs fans can relax a little bit, but they didn't. And I said about the stats, Spurs have had 17 shots in this first half, 6 on target. Brentford 4 shots, 4 on target. But most of the shots from Spurs has come because Brentford have given the ball away in their own half.
Absolutely. I feel like Nathan Collins has been really poor in this game. 2-1 it is to Tottenham at half-time. We've got a really big game coming up as well this evening at 5:30. Let's look ahead to it. It's tonight's Premier League action and we'll look ahead to it with Sky Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Stream more Sky Sports football than ever before. Available with no contract on now. Like Crystal Palace versus Manchester United live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Talksport's Ian Abrahams will be at Selhurst Park for us for Crystal Palace against Manchester United. Afternoon, Ian. Palace still winless. It needs to change for them, doesn't it? But I mean, they've got enough quality to do that. But Manchester United have been decent. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome to Selhurst Park, where they are watering the pitch frenetically. We have had a couple of tiny showers, but nothing to really speak of in South East London. You're right, Palace, their worst start in 7 years in the Premier League, but last season did double over Manchester United, including a 4-0 hammering of United here in May, just before the cup final. United's recent run has improved. Obviously, they beat Southampton last weekend on Talksport. Then they thumped Barnsley in the cup. But, you know, is that a fragile renaissance for United? Is it a new dawn, or is it just another sort of fake turnaround under Erik ten Hag? I guess we'll find out the answers to those questions. Plus, is Marcus Rashford back to his best this afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, he is back scoring, which is good news for Marcus Rashford, although he perhaps should have taken the penalty that got taken out of his hands in the Cup midweek. But, I mean, I find it really interesting in terms of his psychology this season and how the comments that his manager made about him this week might potentially affect him going into this game, because he's talked about the fact that Marcus Rashford had off-field issues last year, which we kind of knew, but this is a confirmation, it feels, of it a little bit more. What do you make of what his manager had to say about him, and does Ten Hag maybe deserve a bit of credit for helping him, but out of the public eye maybe?
Yeah, I think very much the latter. Help him, but you know, do you really need to tell everyone? Do you need to confirm, as you say, what we all believe to be the case last season with Marcus Rashford, or any player for that matter? I mean, you know, if a player is struggling for whatever reason, be it a physical reason, a mental reason, or any other reason, you know, why does everybody in the world need to know? Surely it's just between you and the player. So I'm not sure if I was Marcus Rashford, unless I said, listen, tell everybody why I was below par last season. I'm not sure I'd be overly thrilled with that, but it will be interesting to see whether or not that continue, you know, the form that he scored last weekend, scored in midweek, obviously, whether he can do it again today, or whether it is just a temporary thing with him, which it seems to have been in the past. As for Ten Hag, he's won as many and lost as many away games in the Premier League as each other, so again, the jury will continue to be out with him. Win today, everything will be fine. Lose, it will be another crisis.
Yep, certainly will. Should be a good game. Looking forward to it. We'll hear your updates over on Talksport. Thank you, Ian Abrahams. That was a look ahead. I've turned Scottish. A look ahead to this afternoon's Premier League action with Sky Sports. Don't forget you can stream more Sky Sports football than ever before. Available with no contract on now. Like Crystal Palace against Manchester United, live today. Just search Now Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Stream more Sky Sports football than ever before. Available with no contract on now. Like Crystal Palace versus Manchester United live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
You are listening to Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2. Second half action of Tottenham against Brentford coming next. Plus, we'll bring you the other half-time scores from across the Premier League and EFL.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the EFL.
Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Stream more Sky Sports football than ever before. Available with no contract on now. Like Crystal Palace versus Manchester United live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug. Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Settle down for a night of crime. Witness a heist. Follow a car chase. Eat too much popcorn, meet a mafia boss. Join in on a bank robbery. Think about making a cup of tea. Be too comfortable to get up. For less.
Selected IKEA sofas are now at a new lower price, along with thousands of other products. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
Screwfix Sprint delivers from store to door in 60 minutes or less. So, whatever the job, you can do it with less waiting and more working, less downtime and more doing. So don't break your stride. Screwfix Sprint. Order now exclusively on a Screwfix app. £5 delivery charge, no minimum spend. Don't stop. Sprint. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply. Selected products.
The Philly cheese stack is back at McDonald's. 2 beef patties, crispy and grilled onions, cheddar cheese, all topped with a melted cheddar cheese sauce. What could be better? How about playing the Monopoly game with a Philly cheese stack too? Yes, please. Until 15th of October from 11 a.m. Participating UK restaurants. Subject to availability. 18 plus. App may be required. See mcdrules.co.uk.
Football is back and it's game on. Get the ultimate football coverage with the Sun's free pull-out goals. With the best writers pitchside for in-depth match reports, it's all about goals. And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League Two, it has to be goals. Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday, only in the Sun.
You don't just check in to a village hotel. You work out. You jump in. You play on. You tuck in. And drink up. Village Hotels. 33 locations with everything under one roof. A huge gym with pool and great membership opportunities. And a buzzing pub and grill with delicious food, ice-cold beers and live sport. Check out villagehotels.com and work out, stay, meet and play.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs.
Saturate your Saturday with football.
Game day on DAB+, online via the Talksport app and on your smart speaker.
Game day exclusive
on Talksport 2.
This is Game Day. Halftime classifieds.
This is Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2. I'm Faye Carruthers. Let's take a classified check on the half-time scores, starting with
Premier League.
Aston Villa 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Fulham 2, Newcastle 0, Leicester 0, Everton 1, Liverpool 3, AFC Bournemouth 0, Southampton 1, Ipswich Town 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Brentford 1.
Sky Bet Championship.
Bristol City 0, Oxford United 1, Burnley 0, Portsmouth 1, Cardiff 0, Leeds 1, Coventry 1, Swansea 2, Luton 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sheffield United 0, Derby County 0, West Brom 0, Plymouth Argyle 0.
Sky Bet League 1.
Bolton Wanderers 4, Reading 1, Burton Albion 0, Barnsley 1, Charlton Athletic 0, Blackpool 2, Huddersfield 0, Northampton 2, Mansfield 0, Shrewsbury 1, Peterborough 2, Bristol Rovers 0, Rotherham 0, Birmingham City 2, Stockport 0, Leyton Orient 2, Wrexham 1, Crawley 0, Wycombe 1, Cambridge United 1. I'll bring you all the League 2 results at the end of the game. 3 o'clock kickoffs in that league as well. But we have to go back to our commentary of this thrilling Premier League game here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham players are back out, just waiting for the Brentford players who are hovering inside the tunnel here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on their way out, trailing by 2-1 currently. And I tell you what, if we get the kind of breakneck end-to-end game that we saw in the first 45 minutes, you are in for a treat here on Talksport 2. Can Brentford get themselves back into this, or will Tottenham send their fans home happy? Let's find out in the company of Perry Groves and Ian Danter.
Thank you, Faye. Yeah, both teams are back out now. And Brentford aiming to earn their first points away from home this season. They've conceded a lot more goals than we were used to seeing in their first couple of seasons. 19 more goals conceded last season than in the season before. But The injury problems that they suffered were monumental last season. Tony out with his ban, and Burma was out injured for a time. And they're also missing Christian Norgard today, who has a slight injury risk and may be back for the West Ham game. But Tottenham have come from behind to lead, and they get us underway at the start of the second half, attacking the south stand end that they love to do away to our right in this second half in their white shirts and socks with the blue trim and the dark blue shorts. Brentford in that change strip of the dark green shirt shorts and lime green socks. Here's Son down the left-hand side of the area looking for Maddison, who had a really enjoyable first half, I think, from his perspective. Really got into his game out there, James Maddison. A real point to prove for the man that didn't make the Euro squad for England. Here is Brennan Johnson, who scored the second goal. Runs into trouble. I'll run you through the lineups in just a moment. Damsgaard lays it back to Collins for Brentford, who does manage to clear his lines over the head of Porro, but it will just drop for Romero inside the Brentford half. Maddison takes a touch, gets dispossessed, but there's good work from Rodrigo Bentancur to win it back. Porro slides it down the right wing for Johnson, level with the edge of the area. Now Porro again, driving for the dead ball line and wins a corner off Lewis Potter. Spurs 2, Brentford 1 early in the second half.
Yeah, good start from Spurs in this second half. Just making sure they're keeping possession, just moving it. Little 1 and 2 touch, coming into Bentancur, and he gets it into James Maddison. Comes down this right-hand side with Pedro Porro. Tries to get his cross in, corner for Spurs on their right.
To be taken by Kulusevski. And it's punched away by a flying Mark Flecken doing his Superman impression. Comes out to Maddison out on the far left-hand side of the field, faced up by Damsgaard, and it's come off Maddison for a goal kick. So the lineups: Vicario in goal for Spurs, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, Kulusevski, Bentancur, Maddison, Johnson, Solanke and Son. For Brentford, Flecken in goal, Vandenberg, Pinnock and Collins at the back, Ayer, Lewis Potter, Damsgaard, Jarmo Janelt, Carvalho and Mbeumo. Flecken will clear right down the centre of the field as Lewis Potter moves infield from the left-hand side. Great first touch, but Bentancur brilliantly across to deny making a second. And now they're trying to release Brennan Johnson down the right, but it's tidied up by Collins. Gives it back to the keeper Flecken, who quite calmly in the end guides it back out to Collins in the left-back position under pressure from Brennan Johnson. Now Christopher Ayer chests the ball down, but he gets dispossessed by Udogie. Both go to ground. Udogie looks at the referee wanting a free kick, and John Brooks says nothing. Vandenberg will lay it back to Flecken. Stronger right-footed clearance this time, up to halfway, but Mbeumo couldn't control it. Romero back to his keeper, 2-1.
Dan, so it's better decision making from Flecken, because twice he's gone long there. The first time, he had a brilliant touch from Keane Lewis Potter as it dropped out the air with his outside his right foot, and Brentford 2v2 against Porro and Van der Ven.
Now Son Heung-min, brilliant control to pick up a ball left-hand side of the area, trying to get the ball onto his right for a shot. Vandenberg got a very important foot in, and then Jarmo Juk carries the ball out the penalty area under pressure from Udogie. Carvalho is pushed in the back by Bentancur, and it's a free kick to Brentford. Lots of live football coming up on Talksport. We've mentioned a couple of WSL games today as the Women's Super League has started. In earnest, Chelsea won on Friday night. Wins for Manchester United and Brighton today. And Arsenal Man City in the WSL tomorrow at 12:30 at the Emirates Stadium, which may or may not be sold out. It can't be far off. Joe Shannon and Rahan Skinner will be your commentary team at the Emirates. That's a 12:30 get-go. And then Perry, as part of the Sunday session on Talksport, will run the rule over his beloved Arsenal in the men's game as they go to the Etihad for the game against Manchester City at the top of the Premier League. Free kick given for a foul on James Maddison, so it was just clipped inside his own half. So no goals here since half-time. Keep you updated with goals going in elsewhere. Brennan Johnson has got Keane Lewis Potter running back towards his own dead ball line. Does well, actually, and guides the ball back to Flecken. And the ball goes out of play, though. Damsgaard claims he was being pushed by Porro, but the referee, again, happy for play to continue.
Yeah, Ange Postecoglou just gesturing to John Brooks, referee, that it was a dive.
Fulham 2, Newcastle 1. Harvey Barnes gets one back. Here's Maddison, finds Kulusevski inside the area. Good save by the feet of Flecken, and it rebounded out to Kulusevski. You couldn't do nothing about it as the ball just rebounded off his chest and out for a Brentford goal kick. So yeah, Fulham 2, Newcastle 1. Harvey Barnes gets one back for Newcastle. Grimsby 1, Bromley 0 in League 2. Danny Rose. Mansfield equalised against Shrewsbury, Lee Gregory, and Walsall are 1-up at Salford through Nathan Lowe. But it's 2-1 here to Tottenham with 5 minutes gone.
From Spurs on their left-hand side. Little give and go, 1-2, James Maddison and Udogie, who's in that inside left position. Great reverse pass from Maddison to Kulusevski. Kulusevski should be scoring. Danches fire it across Flecken. Good save for Flecken, low down to his left.
Porro down the right wing, holds his arms out, needing an option. It's brought by Solanke down the right-hand side of the area, whips a lovely crossing, but there was nobody there on the end of it. Son was in the box, but nowhere near getting on the end of it. And Udogie can't keep it in play. Brentford get a throw. 2-1.
It's just a little sign there, Dance. We said about Solanke's confidence. As the ball comes into him, he actually rolls the ball with the top of his foot and just rolls his boot over the top. And whips a brilliant cross in, and that's where he should be, but he's out on the right-hand side. Son doesn't come in on the far post.
Brentford float the ball right to left downfield, asking Lewis Potter to give chase. Porro gets the ball back to Vicario. Really fizzed it back to him as well, but Vicario dealt with it well and gives it back to his right back. But the ball infield is intercepted. Yarmolyuk just over the halfway line has it for the visitors. Guides it back into his own half. Ellis Harrison, who'd scored for MK Dons in the first half in League 2, has now been sent off for MK. They're at home to Doncaster. The ball's back with Sepp Vandenberg. Joined Brentford from Liverpool. Made 4 appearances for Liverpool, none of them in the Premier League, before heading down to West London. Tucked infield by Collins, another lazy pass. It's picked up by Bentancur, driving into the area right hand side, goes to ground, no penalty. Solanke might drive it home. It's blocked again, this time by Vandenberg. Kulusevski picks it up and now in the box. Can he pull it back? It's turned behind for a corner kick, and yet again Brentford just present Tottenham with the ball in their own defensive third, and it was so close to being 3-1. Corner.
Again, it's Brentford just giving the ball away cheaply. This time it's Nathan Collins, just gives it to Bentancur.
Short corner taken to James Maddison, rolls it back to Porro, 30 yards out. 1 or 2 urge him to shoot, gives it back to Maddison, crossing is headed clear by Pinnock, chested down by Damsgaard, and he looks for Fabio Carvalho, who rides the challenge of Maddison and tries to set Burma away on halfway, but lovely covering from Bentancur and a little back heel to keep it away from Mbeumo. Now Kulusevski driving towards the area again, slips it into Johnson. Johnson gives it back to Kulusevski, right hand side of the box. 3 waiting for a cross to the far post. Kulusevski still has it and wins a corner off Nathan Collins. Goals going in elsewhere. Sheffield United lead Derby 1-0, Gustavo Harmer. Luton 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Barry Bannon puts Wednesday in front at Kenilworth Road. Stockport 1, Leyton Orient 2. Jack Diamond gets one back for the Hatters. Corner at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium here for Dejan Kulusevski. Son's inside the 6-yard box, so is Solanke. Corner kick goes right in front of goal. It's a very comfortable claim for Flecken. 2-1 Tottenham.
Yeah, just too lofted there from Kulusevski. Needs to just whip the ball in with his left foot. Too much air on it. Flecken just comes out, plucks it out of the air. Again, Brentford trying to play out from the back. All the 3 centre-halves are splitting, just coming in. It's that midfielder into Yarmolyuk. The Spurs are just setting the traps.
And all too often Brentford have fallen into the traps that have been set for them. Wrexham 1, Crawley 1 in League 1. Junior Coutinho has equalised for Crawley at the racecourse. Spurs win it back again, but only temporarily. It's ricocheted into the pack of Kulusevski. Plays it out to the right wing. Porro does really well to keep it in. The ball's behind him. Kulusevski again showing down the right flank. Pinnock's gone out to engage him. Again, 3 Spurs players in the box waiting for a cross, but they've worked it back to just in front of the centre circle, have the hosts. And Van der Ven out to the left-hand side via Udogie to Maddison, up to the left-hand corner of the area. Son touches it out to Udogie. Back for Son once more, wearing his bright orange boots as always. Goes infield to Van der Ven. Spurs shifting play from left to right. Then it's fired in by Romero to the edge of the area, but Solanke couldn't control it. Long ball down to halfway. Van der Ven controlled it so beautifully. on the halfway line, cushioned it down on his instep to keep it away from Mbeumo. But Brentford have it back, and they're looking for Mbeumo again. This time, Bentancur intercepts on halfway. They're not letting Mbeumo get in behind at the moment, Tottenham. 10 minutes gone in the second half. 2-1 to the hosts.
Well, Bentancur, just like the minder dance, and he playing at the base of Spurs' midfield, that enables Kulusevski and Maddison to have a free rein.
And Porro wins another corner off his opposite number key, Lewis Potter. They do like winning corners. I think it averages 11 attacking corners that Spurs win per game. They've not quite got to 11 yet this afternoon, but they're on their way there. And Kulusevski will take this latest one short to Brennan Johnson, gives it back to Kulusevski on this near side, works it infield to Porro with a left-footed ball into the area, headed out by Vandenberg, chested down by Carvalho. Can Brentford clear their lines? They can this time, at least temporarily, and then Mbeumo is fouled by Maddison, and Brentford get a free kick which they take quickly because Damsgaard is in space on this near side, scurries over the halfway line. Lewis Potter to his left-hand side, gives it back to Damsgaard down the left-hand side of the area, no real support, and there's a foul on Damsgaard at the edge of the area. Two players went in on him, Johnson and Romero, and Damsgaard has won a free kick down the left-hand side of the box for the Bees. 2-1.
Really good counter-attack from Brentford. Mbeumo got fouled, put his hand on top of the ball, took a quick free kick out to Lewis Potter on this left-hand side. It's a great little ball just down the left-hand channel with Damsgaard just running there. Then it's a combination of Brennan Johnson and Romero. Both of them slide in. Quite rightly, John Brooks, referee, gives the foul on the edge of the 18-yard box on this left-hand side.
Bristol City 1, Oxford United 1. Sinclair Armstrong, once of QPR, has got the equaliser for the Robin to Ashton Gate. Brentford then have this free kick down the left-hand side of the penalty area, about 5 yards from the dead ball line. And Mbeumo and Damsgaard are standing over it. You've got Yarmouk and also you've got Janelt standing at the edge of the area in case one's rolled back to them. And Mbeumo with his left or Damsgaard with his right. There's a two-man Spurs wall stationed guarding the near post. Damsgaard goes for goal. It's blocked by that two-man wall. Out to the right-hand side, and Romero stops it going out for a throw and tucks it infield neatly to Udogie, but Udogie can't get the better of Vandenberg. Brentford have won it back. Ball clips into the area. Out comes Vicario. Oh, and he handled it outside the area, did he? Looked like he did. But John Brooks was right in front of it, said nothing, and now he's blowing the whistle to stop the game because he wants to book a Brentford player. Christopher Ayers getting booked for dissent because it looked as though Vicario, patting the ball down as he came out to his 18-yard line, handled the ball outside the area. He did, I can see the replay.
100% John Brooks has made a massive Rick there dance, because as the ball comes in from Collins on the right-hand side, it's like a bar of soap as it drops out the air. Vicario comes right on the edge of 18-yard box. It's his third touch. As it drops down, his second touch is in the box, and then just as he tries to flick it over Damsgaard, then it's his third touch with his right hand, just pulls the ball away from Damsgaard. So John Brooks has had a little bit of a torrid there, to be fair, and he will say that obviously he can't see because he's not directly in line with it. So he's going to come over now to the touchline. I think Thomas Frank wasn't very happy.
Well, the Brentford manager is also going to go into the book. I think Janelt might also have seen yellow too for that challenge, but Thomas Frank gets a yellow card. And based on what I've seen, you can kind of understand the Brentford manager's frustration, but we know the rules now that if you show too much dissent to an official, whether you're a player or a manager, you go in the book. And it's just dumped back downfield by Brentford, and it'll be a uncontested drop ball, and we're back underway as we approach the hour mark, and Guillermo Vicario has got away with one there. Big style.
Thomas Frank has just gone into the Norman Bates eyes dance. You can tell how angry he is because he's just had a little chat with Oliver Langford, the fourth official, was trying to just calm him down.
Kulusevski releases Brennan Johnson again, right-hand side of the area, angles tight, and this time the shot is comfortably held by the goalkeeper. Yves Bissouma about to come on for Tottenham. He's had a knock and he's been out for the last couple of weeks, but he's going to come on to put some steel into that Tottenham Hotspur midfield. But he'll have to wait for his opportunity to enter the fray. Brentford have possession in their own defensive third. Cleared away by Janelt up to halfway, but it won't find Carvalho. Sails over his head, and instead Destiny Udogie striding purposefully down the left for the home side, but his ball in field comfortably intercepted by Vandenberg. And Burmo, lovely first touch, and then guides it out to Carvalho just shy of the halfway line. Just jockeys it away from the attentions of Son Heung-min. Bolton 4, Reading 2. Sam Smith. It was a hat-trick in the first half for Dion Charles. Reading back in it. Stockport 1, Leyton Orient 3. Daniel Aguier gets a third. Huddersfield 0, Northampton 3 in League 1. And Charlie Lakins put Walsall 2 up at Salford. Down the left-hand side for Brentford, Mikael Damsgaard. An hour gone, 2-1 Tottenham. Here's Keane Lewis Potter, level with the edge of the area. Rolls it back for Janelt. And go infield to Nathan Collins. Collins gives it again to Mikael Damsgaard. Now Carvalho looks for a little reverse ball into the area, but the ball just ricocheted away from Mbermo, who clears downfield from Van der Ven. But Pinnock will calmly guide it back to his keeper, Mark Flecken. Still Bissouma waits to come into the action. And Brentford still have it. Just inside their own half with Yarmolyuk. To his right is Vandenberg, gives it back to the young Ukrainian, just darts into the Tottenham half, tries to run between two Tottenham players, goes to ground, no foul, says the referee. It's back with Vicario.
Yeah, there's the mind of Bentancur. Yarmolyuk just trying to go in between him and Udogie. Bentancur used his body really well, just got his shoulder across him. It'll be interesting to see, Dance, how Postecoglou goes, because Bentancur is the defensive midfield player who's the anchor. It'll be interesting to see whether he puts Bissouma on to go alongside him or just does a like for like and brings him off.
The voice of Perry Groves you can hear alongside me, Ian Danter, here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. You're listening to Spurs 2, Brentford 1 with Sky Sports. As here comes Brian Mbermo with the ball suddenly broken to him inside the area. Great save, Vicario, low down to his left, and then Porro cushions the header back to him as the ball popped out in front of him. Suddenly Brentford were in behind, but Mbermo forced a great save to keep it 2-1 Tottenham.
It's that high line from Spurs. Great ball from Nathan Collins on the right hand side.
Now the ball's played through to Son Heung-min as Spurs come forward at the other end. Son lays it off for Johnson across the face of goal, and Solanke can't tuck it home. Again, chances at both ends within seconds. It could be 3-2, but it stays 2-1.
Dance, that encapsulates what this game has been about. At first, Brentford had a great chance. Great ball from Nathan Collins on the right-hand side. Just rolls it in field into Brian Mbermo. His first touch took him away from goal a bit too much. Left foot, gets his shot away. Great save from Cairo down to his left-hand side. Then Spurs on the counter-attack. James Maddison, brilliant ball, releases Heung-min Son, and he should get out of his feet, Dance. He's 1v1, should get out of his feet. In the end, he takes too many touches, comes to Brennan Johnson on the right-hand side. He gets caught in two minds whether he's going to have a shot or cross, and it's in between. Solanke's sort of on his heels on 6-yard box and just rolls past Flecken's far post. Brilliant action.
Substitutions for both sides. Kevin Shard has just come on for Brentford to replace Yego Yarmolyuk. So a slightly more attacking change from Thomas Frank, and Ange Postecoglou is brought on Ibissouma, and it's a straight swap really for Rodrigo Bentancur. So as I was saying, you're listening to Spurs 2, Brentford 1 on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Don't forget, you can stream more Sky Sports football than ever before, available with no contract on Now, like Crystal Palace versus Manchester United, live today. Just search Now Sports. West Brom 1, Plymouth 0. Josh Maja, what a start to the season he has had. And the Baggies could go back top of the table. Sunderland at the moment top of the Championship table after their lunchtime win over Middlesbrough that you heard live here on Talksport 2.
Well, West Brom have kept 14 clean sheets at home since the beginning of last season in the Championship, so going 1-0 up, good omens for West Brom fans.
Here is Damsgaard for Brentford, looking to release Sharda, who's playing up front alongside Mbermo. Carvalho's just dropped a little deeper with that substitution. Vicario clears his lines well for Spurs. Udogie tucks it in field for Maddison. Lovely turn from Maddison at first to get away from Vandenberg, but then Carvalho took the ball off him. Maddison wanted a free kick. Udogie dispossesses Mbermo down that left-hand side for Tottenham. All given away by Son this time. Damsgaard just wheels away from Son. Tries to slide it down the right-hand side of the box for Ayer, but he's overhit the pass. And he goes behind for a Spurs goal kick. Just over 25 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Game day exclusive. Tottenham 2, Brentford 1. Here's Perry Groves.
Well, the game hasn't had any difference from the first half, Dance. It's been end to end. It's been like the basketball game. Brentford haven't given the ball away as cheaply in this second half. But Spurs have still created a few chances. We had one there with Son. That was his second 1v1. Couldn't get the ball out of his feet. But Brentford are always a threat on the counter-attack because Spurs play the high line. Brentford leave 2 up. This time it's obviously Sharda and Mbeumo.
Here's Solanke on the halfway line. Strong run, turned away from 2 Brentford players, but ball just got away from him and Brentford have it back. Damsgaard caught by Bissouma as he released the ball, and Bissouma, he's been on the pitch 2 minutes and he's got a yellow card. That didn't take long.
Well, he's been told to get his foot in, but I think, and Postecoglou would have probably said, get your foot in on the ball first.
So he's in the book, so too Van der Ven and Ayer. Burnley 1, Portsmouth 1 in the Championship. Jeremy Sarmiento equalises for Burnley at Turf Moor.
Do you want my inane stat of the day?
Go on, then, we're always
Burnley
ready for an
haven't beaten Pompey at home since 1982, where a 19-year-old Mike Phelan was among the scorers in a 3-0 win.
Oh, that's knowledge. Good work, Perry.
Well, I just copied it and wrote it down, basically.
Okay. Well, you know. Free kick for Brentford, sent up to the edge of the Tottenham box. Might squirm through to Kevin Sharda, tries to toe poke it to the edge of the box, but only finds Udogie, who brings the ball up to the halfway line. Strong run from him, goes down, wants a free kick, and again John Brooks wants to play on.
Where we can hear the Tottenham fans aren't very happy. To be fair to Vitaliano, I think he did really well there, just shouldered Udogie off the ball and got Brentford back in possession.
Carvalho clips it out to the left wing. Here's Keane Lewis Potter up against Porro. Twisting and turning, left-hand corner of the area, plays it in field to Carvalho. He's buzzing around the edge of the box now, trying to drift down the left-hand side of the area, leaves it for Damsgaard. Damsgaard whips a cross in goes Ayer at the far post, and it means that Spurs had to turn it behind for a corner kick to Brentford at the north stand end. 2-1 Spurs.
Yeah, it's really good defending from Udogie on the far post.
And the corner's taken quickly, and it's Collins rolling it into the centre of the half for Lewis Potter. Lewis Potter chips it into the edge of the area. Oh, it's just got behind the one man. Vandenberg lobs it across the face of goal. Sharda with a header. Brilliant save, Vicario. One-handed, clawed it out. Comes back out to the left wing. And then Mbeumo. Damsgaard in support. Goes for the byline. Good crossing. Headed out to the edge of the area. Great defensive header by Christian Romero. But what a save by Guglielmo Vicario to deny Kevin Sharda an equaliser for Brentford.
Dan Sharda was nearly in paradise there. Brentford just works it on the right-hand side. Great cross into the box. Sharda with a free header just nods it down. It looks like it's going to nestle in Vicario's bottom right-hand corner, and it's a big right hand which he's just managed to claw it away just as it bounced in front of him. Fantastic save there from Sharda. And a really good ball in from Nathan Collins from that right-hand side.
So it stays 2-1 with a quarter of the game to go. Brentford have a throw on the far side of the field, just where their supporters are in that northeast corner. It's about 20 yards from the dead ball line. Ethan Pinnock is the man who's going to launch it in field. Peterborough are 3-0 up on Bristol Rovers in League One. Here comes the long throw from Pinnock into the near post. Vicario elects to punch and punches it behind for a corner. There was nobody round him. He could have caught that, but he elected to punch. Corner Brentford. 2-1 Spurs.
I think he's been given his equity card, Dance, because he's just hammed that up completely, where he's come for the long throw-in and he should be catching it. As you said, he's got no one around him and he's two-fisted punched it, and then instead of punching it forwards, he's punched it behind himself out for a corner for Brentford over on their right-hand side.
And Burmo's gone across to take it in front of those Brentford fans, some of them shielding their eyes from the late afternoon sunshine into that northeast corner. In it comes from Mbeumo under the crossbar, and Vicario claims that's better goalkeeping. He's made 2 brilliant saves this afternoon, and he's had that strange decision to punch behind. Balls with the other goalkeeper, Flecken, volleys downfield. It'll bounce over Brennan Johnson. Carvalho is offside as he picked the loose ball up, and that's a free kick for Tottenham Hotspur just inside their own half of the field. Another change coming up for Spurs, and Brennan Johnson, having given Spurs the lead, is going to get a warm round of applause as he comes off, and Pape Sarr comes on to replace him, to add a bit more steel to the midfield and help protect what Tottenham Hotspur have, this 2-1 lead.
As you said there, Dance, yeah, Sarr will go in there with Yves Bissouma. Kulusevski will come out on this right-hand side just to give him that little bit of solidity in the centre midfield area.
Kulusevski's gone out to the right-hand side in the forward line where Brennan Johnson was. It's a position that's perfectly familiar to the Swede. So in the Premier League at the moment, Wolves still 1-0 up at Villa. Fulham 2-1 against Newcastle. Everton still leading at Leicester, looking for their first win and deny Leicester their first win. Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 0. Southampton still leading Ipswich. Both those sides looking for their first Premier League win. 2-1 here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to Ange Postecoglou's men. Brentford win a throw just beyond their right back position.
Dance is still persistent. They playing out from the back, going from Flecken out to the three centre halves. And before the game, when you look at all the stats, Spurs have had the most high turnovers this season, 47. Now the opponents, the fewest passes, 795. So you know that Spurs are going to pressure, right? So I think Brentford they should just mix it up a bit more.
Here's Pape Sarr, guides it back to the edge of the area for Kulusevski, has to run away from goal though under pressure from Mbeumo, and Doggy takes over, and then Bissouma down the left hand side of the box, trying to play a 1-2 with Son Heung-min, doesn't come off, out of play for a Spurs throw on the left hand side, 10 yards from the dead ball line. Udogie wants to take it quickly, Bissouma just there with him, but he's going to delay it for the time being now. He's also got Maddison out there wanting a short throw. 71 minutes gone. Tottenham 2, Brentford 1 if you're just tuning into Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2. Maddison receives the throw now. Udogie gets dispossessed. It might break from Udogie again as a ricochet helps him out down the left hand side of the box. Tries to protect it behind for a corner. Vandenberg actually does really well, and Damsgaard just hooks the ball sky high and out of play for a Spurs throw on the far left hand side for them.
You know what, Dan, you said about James Maddison like enjoying himself out on that left hand side, and what he's done is he's found that space because Udogie comes in the left hand channel. I know that him and Kulusevski were 2 10s, but he's actually on numerous occasions being the widest player out on that left hand side. He's found that little bit of freedom, and he's the one who's been dictating everything.
It's currently Spurs 2, Brentford 1. For the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage. Right now you can get Spurs to win 7-1 on, Brentford to win 28-1, the draw priced at 11-2. That's all thanks to William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. That's 18+. BeGambleAware.org. Free kick for Tottenham Hotspur that Maddison's going to take out on that left hand side, about 35 yards from goal. He's going to swing it in right footed. Up go the heads. It's Collins who heads it out to the edge of the box, brought down by Kulusevski, guides it out to Porro at the right hand corner of the penalty area, faced up by Schade, whips a lovely ball in Porro and flicked away Brian Mbeumo. Son was just behind him. Comes out to Maddison, rolls it back to Bissouma. He plays it into the box down the left hand side for Van der Ven, who gets a pass out to the left wing horribly wrong. Then that's a throw to Brentford. 17 minutes to go. Still only 1 goal in it on Talksport 2. Tottenham 2, Brentford 1.
There's still going to be chances that will be created in this last 17 minutes because Spurs won't just sit back, and just have what we hold. They'll be trying to get the third goal. That'll leave themselves a little bit exposed. You've got to say that it was a really good battle. I know Brennan Johnson's gone off, but it was a really good battle on Spurs' right and Brentford's left hand side with Keane Lewis Potter. Both the young players played really well for the time that they were both on the pitch together.
Ball's out on the right hand side for Brentford. Damsgaard heads it infield to around the centre circle, and Mbeumo climbs for a header. Did win it temporarily. Spurs couldn't profit from it in the end. It's back with Keane Lewis Potter on this left hand side. Lovely turn from Carvalho. And then he runs into Maddison, and Spurs win it back. Sarr, and then given away by Son to Carvalho, who picked himself off the deck after getting dispossessed, and he just got nudged by Pape Sarr there, and it's a free kick to Brentford.
He's just not been on it today, has he, Son Heung-min, because he's had 2 1v1s in possession. He's been a little bit sloppy, gave the ball away there with nobody around him. It's nothing to do with his work rate or his effort. He's just not flowing at the moment.
Ball fed infield looking for Schade. Great interception from Van der Ven. Deschamps Bernard's been sent off for Sheffield Wednesday, who still lead at Luton, but they're now a man down, even though they're a goal up. Bristol City 2, Oxford 1. Naki Wells for Bristol City as they restore their lead at Ashton Gate in the Championship. Ball out of play for a Tottenham throw on the left-hand side of the field. Don't forget, just around the North Circular from us tonight, live on Talksport, it is Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois for the IBF World Heavyweight title. Can Anthony Joshua become a 3-time world champion? 8 o'clock, our coverage starts on Talksport with Adam Cattrall, your host, along with Gareth A. Davis, Spencer Oliver, John Rawling and the team ringside at Wembley Stadium with a brilliant undercard as well. Make sure you're with us for that. Here's Pedro Porro for Tottenham meantime. Out to the right-hand side for Dejan Kulusevski. Right-hand corner of the box. Plays a cross in, and Flecken did well to leave that, sensing there was nobody going to be able to get on it in a Tottenham shirt. And it ends up being a goal kick away to our right-hand side. Quarter of an hour to go.
Yeah, just good link up on this right-hand side with James Maddison. And Pedro Porro just feeding it out to Kulusevski, coming on his left foot. He's just put too much pressure. He's just trying to pick out Dominic Slanky on the far post. You said there, Flecken did really well. Realised that Slanky couldn't get it and just let it go across him.
Back it goes to Mark Flecken. I can see Faye Carruthers to my right-hand side doing the shimmy Coco pucker. I think that means that Luton Town have equalised against Sheffield Wednesday. Indeed they have. The nod of the head confirms it. So 1-1 at Kenilworth Road. 2-1 here.
I think the Luton Boblat's gone a bit far though, don't you?
It is.
It's not that sort of weather, is it?
Says the man who said he was going to wear a comedy nose and glasses to walk down the Tottenham High Road. Yeah, he's got his red socks on, of course you have. It's Carlton Morris that equalised for Luton Town, incidentally. 1-1 at Kenilworth Road. Here's Keane Lewis Potter driving infield for Brentford. Showed too much of that to Romero, but the ball ricochets out to Ayer on the right wing. Plays it infield to Mbermo, right-hand corner of the box. Now there's Spurs players all round him. Damsgaard clips the ball into the box. Poor cross, but it's well won by Schade. Now Carvalho drives down the left-hand side of the box. Can he play it across the face of goal? No, he can't, and the ball comes off him and behind for a goal kick. But the Spurs fans are angry about a free kick which they feel should have been given to them. Instead it's a goal kick, 2-1.
Yeah, Kulusevski just taking too much time on the edge of the 18-yard box. To be fair, it was a brilliant recovery tackle from Schade. Schade just then giving it out to Carvalho on this left-hand side, goes 1v1 with Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro stands on his feet, gets the tackle in, ball goes off for a goal kick, and Pedro Porro gives it a massive fist pump a la Saliba or Gabriel, you know, when they've got their block in.
Don't think we didn't all hear the Schade Paradise one earlier either.
Yeah, thought we might have, you know, just gone over your head.
2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur if you're just tuning into Talksport 2. We've got 13 minutes to go here in North London. Maddison goes to ground, clipped by Damsgaard. And he claims he's having... Oh, he's saying to Van den Berg, do you want my shirt? You've pulled enough of it. He says, do you want my shirt? No, just ruffles Van den Berg's head quite playfully in the end. And Tottenham get a free kick.
Yeah,
double
brilliant.
Change coming up for Brentford. And Damsgaard is coming off. Mads Roerslev is coming on, and so too is Yunus Konak, who's a recent arrival, joined in January from Sivasspor, the 18-year-old. Played 1 minute against Colchester United in the League Cup. So Damsgaard has gone off, and I think it's Ayer who's gone off on the... Yeah, he's just walking around the pitch on the other side of the field. So Ayer, who was booked in the first half, and Damsgaard are off. And so Konak in midfield, Roerslev to right wing back. Vicario was under pressure from Schade, got the ball clear in the nick of time. Spurs now sending the ball forward. Papsar is the furthest forward. Across comes Nathan Collins to close him down. He's down the left-hand side of the area. Papsar. Now he's got people coming to close him down. Peterborough 3, Bristol Rovers 2. Getting on Doncourt. Bristol Rovers aren't done yet at London Road. They got one back through Luke McCormick. Now it's 3-2. 2-1 here, 11 to go. Dejan Kulusevski, faced up by Lewis Potter, tucks it infield to Bissouma. Strong pass out to Porro, right hand side, trying to get beyond Carvalho, wins a throw. Don't forget Talksport breakfast back from 6 a.m. on Monday. Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor will be in the chair looking back on all the weekend sporting action. Dubois against AJ, Man City, Arsenal. Former Tottenham winger Aaron Lennon is going to join the boys on breakfast as well. If you prefer a bit of music on your Monday morning, there's always the Chris Evans breakfast show on Virgin, 6:30 a.m. every day.
Just looking at Brentford dance the second half, they've actually been better in possession. They haven't given the ball away as much. They've set commentators cursed. Nathan Collins gives the ball straight away.
Yep, they're giving it away to Porro. Solanke twisting and turning right hand corner of the box, rolls it across to Papsar, lays it off to the edge of the area. Madison has to guide it down the left hand side of the area for Udogie. He gives it back to Madison, being jockeyed for position by Konak. Now it goes out to the right hand side, the left hand side rather, for Udogie. Sarr again. Spurs just slowing it down now as we go into the last 10 minutes of normal time. Janelt only gets the ball half clear. Bissouma picks it up for Spurs. Finds Son, plays a 1-2 or tries to play a 1-2 with Kulusevski, but Brentford nick it back off them and Flecken clears first time downfield. Van der Ven fighting for possession with Shardet, and Shardet just gets a foot in and Burma won't get there before Romero hooks it downfield though.
That's every time both teams go forward, they look like they're going to score. Neither team has looked settled, did they, when they're out of possession. Just there, Kulusevski trying to play a little 1-2 with Son Heung-min. It was really good defensive play from Roasev, actually, come in from right back just to nick it off Son's
Konak's been fouled, yeah. Goals elsewhere. Villa equalise against Wolves. Ollie Watkins makes it 1-1. And Leicester equalise against Everton. Steffi Mavadidi makes it 1-1 at the King Power. Wrexham 2, Crawley 1 down in League 1. Max Cleworth up from the back to put Wrexham back in front. Huddersfield 1, Northampton 3. Maybe a bit too late for Josh Coromer, but the Terriers have a goal back. 2-1 here with 9 minutes to go. And the ball out of play, and Udogie will have a throw for Tottenham just shy of the halfway line.
We're just going to Brentford dance. Konak's come on, obviously playing in that midfield free for Brentford, just going on the right hand side. So it looks like he's been designated just to try and look after James Maddison, because James Maddison has been excellent throughout this whole game.
Solanke wriggles his way past Vandenberg down the left hand side, driving into the area. Kulusevski's there at the near post and it's gone behind for a corner kick. There were enough Brentford players back to turn it behind for a corner to Tottenham at the south stand end. 2-1.
Really good play from Dominic Solanke on that left hand side, just in the left hand channel, just gets the ball out of his feet, just trying to get himself to the byline. In the end, it was really good play from Vandenberg. Just made sure that he tracked the run. Again, he just leant into Solanke, got a little toe in with his left foot. Corner for Spurs out on their left-hand side.
In the southwest corner, southeast corner, should I say. Over on the far side of the field from us. Maddison pretends to roll the ball to the left-hand corner of the box for Sarr. Now he's going to take the corner, right-footed in, swing it into the near post. Took a touch off Pinnock, dropped to the far post. Just landed on Sepp Vandenberg's left boot and just bounced in front of Flecken with no Spurs player around him to pick it up. Goals going in elsewhere. Colchester 3, Tranmere 0 in League 2. Samson Tavida makes it 3. Doncaster equaliser MK Dons. That's Tom Anderson. Swindon nil, Carlisle 2 in League 2. Stockport 1, Leyton Orient 4 in League 1. Sean Clegg going to be back-to-back wins in the league for Leyton Orient. Brentford winning the ball back midway point of the Tottenham half. Konak stepping away from Kulusevski, plays the ball back to the edge of the centre circle, and Vandenberg. Now Pinnock strokes it neatly out to Roerslev. Sees and Burma making a run down the right hand side of the box, and Burma will get there just ahead of Van der Ven. Gives it back to Roerslev. Janelt in support now on that far side for the Bees, and Burma level with the edge of the area. Konak knocks it back out to Janelt on the right hand side. Not much height in the box for Brentford. Here's Carvalho sliding it through to the edge of the area, but couldn't find a teammate. Don't know who he was looking for. Spurs get it out, but only as far as Konak, but then he took a touch too far, and it's a throw into Tottenham. 6 minutes to go of normal time. Spurs are hanging on to this 2-1 win here.
That's Carvalho and Wermo. One was on AM, one was on FM, because if Wermo just stands still on the edge of the box, then Carvalho can just roll it into him. He keeps moving laterally across the 8-yard box, and Carvalho just gives the ball away.
Laid off by Solanke inside his own half to Udogie. Given away though. Now Sharda running towards the edge of the area. But great challenge from Udogie. Brilliant challenge to win it back. And now Son Heung-min is released through the inside right channel. Squares it across for Maddison for 3-1. James Maddison makes the point safe for Tottenham Hotspur. He'll get booked for taking his shirt off. He won't care. He thought his shirt was being ripped up his back by Sepp Vandenberg not 5 minutes ago. But suddenly Spurs were released downfield, and such unselfish play from Son Heung-min to roll it across from right to left, and the coolest finish from James Maddison to lift it over Mark Flecken to make it Tottenham Hotspur 3, Brentford 1, bullseye.
Dance, James Maddison says to the Brentford fans, who the hell are you? I'm James Maddison. Everything you need. Again, it's Brentford getting caught in possession. This time it's Sharda. Great sliding tackle from Mbeumo. Comes to Romero. Great little ball into Son Heung-min. Can he pick the right pass in that right-hand channel? Over his left shoulder, he sees James Maddison. Brilliantly weighted pass to James Maddison. First touch out of his feet. Flecken comes to close him down. James Maddison has one thing in his head. All he's going to do with his left foot is going to dink it over the top of him. Exactly what he does. Exactly the right rate. And a brilliant finish from James Maddison to put this game beyond any doubt for Tottenham Hotspur here at the White Hart Lane Stadium, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, as Spurs go 3-1 up.
It's his first goal of the season, James Maddison, and his fifth in all for this club after making over 200 appearances for Leicester. And a couple of changes, in fact 3 changes being readied, and 3 young precocious talents are going to come on for Tottenham in a moment. Also Ryan Trevitt, another youngster, going to come on for Brentford. But Lucas Bergvall, Archie Gray and Mikey Moore are all going to get the chance to shine. It's going to be Mikey Moore's Premier League debut when he comes on, the young 17-year-old who scored 18 goals last season in the under-18s. Lucas Bergvall, who I watched, I thought he was terrific. He was one of the few Spurs players that shone for me at Coventry in the week. Meantime, it's Carvalho that's gone off to allow Ryan Trevitt to come on for Brentford. And Bergvall, a young Swede who Barcelona were after before Spurs nicked in. But before he comes on, it's a Premier League debut for Mikey Moore. He was on the bench against Coventry, and he comes on for Dominic Solanke, who gets a nice standing ovation from the Spurs fans around the stadium, having notched his first for his new club.
Yeah, you say, Dance. The Tottenham fans on their feet. Tom Solanke's led the line well, held the ball, gets a massive hug from his manager.
Meantime, Maddison's coming off for Bergvall, and the other player coming off is Pedro Porro to allow Archie Gray to come on. Gray and Bergvall both started the match against Coventry in the week. And now Luton have gone 2-1 up. Faye Carruthers has just given me a knowing look. Mansfield are 2-1 up on Shrewsbury. Wickham 2-1 up on Cambridge. Those goals in League One. Burton level with Barnsley, 1-1 Elliott Watt. And it's 3-1 here with 2 minutes to go. And it's going to be back-to-back wins for Tottenham. Just when a few were starting to look at them. But maybe this is more indicative of the sort of performances they've been putting in, Perry Groves, where some of the results haven't matched the performances in recent weeks.
Yeah, very much so. Obviously, they've had a plethora of chances. They've ended up taking 3 of them.
Cardiff 0, Leeds 2, Joel Peru. Errol Bullock really walking the tightrope as Cardiff manager at the moment. And Leeds look to have sealed the points. That's a former Swansea player getting the second. He'll have enjoyed that, Joel Peru. It's Carlton Morris again who got that goal for Luton, incidentally, against Sheffield Wednesday to put them 2-1 up. Krug 3-0 up on Harrogate in League 2, Kane Hemmings. And we're into the last minute of normal time here. And Spurs are home and hosed.
Just let Spurs dance. That means Son Heung-min will go through the middle. He'll be the centre forward. Mickey Moore, the young goal-scoring under-17 player will be out on that left-hand side, and Bergvall will just go in to that midfield area.
So much being said about Mikey Moore by those inside Tottenham, that he's got everything you need to be a successful Premier League talent. Barnsley are in front again at Burton. Stephen Humphreys makes it Burton 1, Barnsley 2, and Bolton 5, Reading 2. Kyle Dempsey sets the seal on the victory for the Trotters this afternoon in League One. Here in the Premier League, Chelsea 1 at lunchtime, live on Talksport, 3-0 at West Ham. Villa Wolves is 1-1 as Kulusevski works really hard down by the corner flag to win the ball off Pinnock, but then it goes for a goal kick. Elsewhere in the Premier League, Fulham 3, Newcastle 1. They've just made it 3-1 Fulham in added time to prevent Newcastle going top of the table. Leicester 1, Everton 1 in added time. Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 0. Southampton 1, Ipswich 0. And here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, we're into 5 minutes of minimum stoppage time. Tottenham Hotspur 3, Brentford 1 on Talksport 2. Phoning coming up on Talksport at 5:30 with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Jamie's going to be full of beans after this scoreline. So will Jason after the 3-0 Chelsea win at West Ham. So phone and moan or ring and sing about your team's performance. 03717 223344 from 5:30 till 8, and then we take to Wembley Stadium for Dubois against AJ in the boxing. Live on Talksport. Brentford trying to clear the ball out their own penalty area. And it's Konak who guides it down for Roerslev. Good ball infield, picked up by Trevitt, and he's fouled. Free kick to Brentford just shy of the halfway line, but the game is done. It's going to be 3 points for Tottenham, and Brentford been decent at home, but they've had 3 tricky away fixtures to start their season, Perry Groves. Liverpool, Manchester City and Tottenham. They've scored in 2 of those games, so maybe there are some positives they can take from it.
Well, they've been in both the games against Man City last Saturday and this Saturday here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Here's Archie Gray getting up to the edge of the area. Right-hand side for Spurs. 2 Brentford players shadowing him as he gets to the corner flag. He's just going to keep it in that corner flag. Out of play it goes, and it will be a goal kick for Brentford, taken quickly by Pinnock. We played 2 minutes of the minimum 5 that are being added on here. It was Reece Nelson, once of Arsenal, who got that 3rd goal for Fulham against Newcastle at Craven Cottage. All played in field. Lovely touch from Trevitt. And now down the right-hand side for Brentford, it's Konak. But his ball in field intended for Mbermo is intercepted. Now away comes Kulusevski. Down the right-hand side of the box, he's outpaced his man, pulls it back to the penalty spot, but again, nobody there in a white shirt. And it's brought away for Brentford by Mbermo.
Yeah, Collins 1v1.
He's trying to release Sade, but the ball will just go through, and Vicario can take the ball comfortably at the edge of his penalty area. But I'm sure that Thomas Frank, when he speaks to me after, will want to make note of that moment when Vicario patted the ball down outside his own penalty area, and it was not punished by the referee or the assistant on the far side of the field.
Yeah, it was a mistake from John Brooks, but I don't think you can really blame this defeat on the referee dance, because we said before with Brentford, they've been the architect's own downfall, where they kept giving the ball away very cheaply. They knew that Tottenham were going to have the high press.
Now they're trying to release Sade through the middle. Out comes Vicario to the edge of the area and managed to hook it clear. Sade was going through the gears then. He is quick, but Vicario there in the nick of time to get it out of play.
Yeah, it was a good starting position from Vicario. Really good ball from down out there, just piercing it through the 2 Spurs centre halves. Looks like Sade was going to be in, but Vicario just came out of his area, slid in, hooked the ball away. Brentford just trying to build up from the back.
Pinnock in possession, fires it out to this near touchline, and Collins. Good ball in field from Mbermo, twisting and turning away from Kulusevski. Out to this left-hand side, and Lewis Potter. And Burmo's gone again down the left-hand side of the area, whips it into the near post. Sade was trying to make the run across the near post, but it was a very comfortable claim for Vicario. 3-1.
again, the game hasn't changed in any pattern whatsoever. It's still as open as it was from the first minute. So Brentford just trying to get down their left-hand side, and Buemo firing across in. Sharda couldn't quite get across the near post. In the end, it was a simple save for Vicario, just down to his left and just smothered the ball.
Aston Villa 2, Wolves 1. The Midlands derby looks to have swung Villa's way at the death. Esri Konsa with 2 minutes to go makes it 2-1. Fulham have beaten Newcastle in the Premier League by 3-1. Same scoreline as here, as the 5 minutes of added time are nearly up in North London. Ball thrown in for Brentford. Sharda out on the right-hand side will work it back in field. There goes the full-time whistle, and the sound of relief all around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as they get their home win that they so desperately crave to back up the Carabao Cup win in midweek. Dominic Solanke has his first goal in Spurs colours. Brendan Johnson makes it 2-2 with a goal he scored. And it's all gone Spurs' way. James Maddison getting his first goal of the season. It was 2-1 at half-time. Remember, it all started with a goal for Brentford inside 30 seconds when Brian Mbeumo expertly volleyed home Lewis Potter's cross from the left-hand side to shock the stadium. But my, how Spurs roared back. An end-to-end game. Could have been any score you liked. But in the end, the final score on Talksport 2, Tottenham Hotspur 3, Brentford 1.
And a quite scintillating 90-plus minutes of football to have been treated to this afternoon, Perry Groves. Ian Danter did mention about that moment with Vicario, but I do feel, I know you said you didn't think it hinged on that, and I know Spurs had to win this game, but that swings the whole momentum and changes everything. And what should have been awarded, and yes, we have the benefit of hindsight watching the replays, Vicario coming out and very blatantly dressed in bright orange, handling the ball outside of the area. Brentford should have had a direct free kick.
It was handball without any shadow of a doubt. I think the only chance you got is the assistant on the far side. He's the one who's looking laterally across the 18-yard box, Faye. Because John Brooks, to be fair to him, he's looking straight down like the barrel of it. So I think he can't tell whether it's because he spilt the catch, then it dropped down, then he had another grab at it which was inside the area, and the third one was a little touch of it outside the area. But I have to say, I don't think that's why Brentford lost this game, because they were just too careless in possession, basically. You know, we got the ideal start in 22 seconds with a brilliant goal from Mbeumo, brilliant left foot volley from Keane Lewis Potter cross. But then, instead of managing the game properly, they're trying to play out from the back. You know that Spurs are going to want to press you, because that's exactly how they play. So before the game, they knew that they had won the ball back from 47 high presses, the most in the Premier League this season. So manage the game better, just play off your front men, and Brentford didn't do it. And if you look, Ethan Pinnock gave the ball away for the first goal. He's trying to play into, I think it was Janol, and then it gets cut out, comes straight to James Maddison. He has his shot. I think Flecken might do a bit better actually from that shot, because it's a save, but he spills it, and Dominic Solanke, massive sigh of relief, he side puts it home to empty net to put Spurs back in it on the 8th minute of 1-1, and then Brentford just kept giving the ball away again, time after time after time.
Yeah, they certainly did, and actually Spurs well worthy of the win, and they're sending their fans home happy, delighted faces all around us here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And I'm just watching Richarlison, by the way, talking to Jed Spence down in the dugout, still very much part of this team, even though unable to play at the moment, and we still don't know from Ange Postecoglou when we're likely to see him. But the good news is he's got a big smile on his face, which is fantastic to be able to see, and he's there waiting for all of his teammates as they come off the pitch to congratulate them on that 3-1 win, and hopefully a turning point from Tottenham's point of view. Right, it's time for us now to pick out man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
I'm really intrigued as to who you're going to pick, Perry Groves, because I did have a player in mind who then went on and kind of put his little cherry on the cake. So I'm wondering if you're going the same way as me.
Well, to be fair, I thought it was a really good battle down Brentford's left-hand side and Spurs' right-hand side with Brendan Johnson and Keane Lewis Potter. I thought Keane Lewis Potter was excellent for Brentford. Heung-min Son has got his 2 assists. Even though he's got his 2 assists, I still don't think he was at his peak. You know, he missed a couple of 1v1s. I said about Kulusevski and James Maddison both playing in the 10 position. And I think what's happened is because Udogie now comes in and plays in the inside left channel, James Maddison, football intelligence, just thought, right, I'm going to be on the outside of him. He found loads of space in the first half. He was dictating the play. Then in the second half, when the game was really tight, it's whether he could pick the right finish. And it was a brilliant counter-attack from Romero into Son Heung-min. Can he pick the right pass? He does. James Maddison's 1v1, and he made that finish look very, very easy as it just come to his left foot, first touch with his right foot. Then when Fletton comes out, he just dinks it over him with his unfavoured left foot, made it look easy. That game is done and dusted, so I'm going to give it to James Maddison.
I would have gone exactly the same way. I concur, even though very delighted for both Dominic Solanke. I know, always. We're on the same page. Dominic Solanke and Brennan Johnson, though, answering their critics. Delighted for both of them too. Apologies for that, Brentford fans. That was our man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.